you are having an amazing morning or evening, or wherever you are in the world. Um, Yesterday, if we were here, hi again. Welcome if you're new. My name is Finna Jones, and I am the founder of Jasper's Game Day, which is the charity that we are here raising money for this week. We use gaming and TTRPGs and games in general to raise money for suicide prevention and awareness. I started this 4 years ago when I lost a few friends to suicide, and I wanted to be able to use the pain and the grief that I was feeling to be able to create something positive and something impactful. So that's why we are here today, and we are here to continue to raise money for people in similar situations and people who have lost loved ones to suicide. And the money that we are raising this week on this channel will be going to Beyond Blue after it goes through us. So thank you so much to everyone who is donating. Thank you, Meeples and Dragons, and thank you, Ardent Roleplay, for putting all this together.
You are 100% welcome. It has been an amazing week so far. Speaking of amazing, you guys have not only blown through the initial goal of 2K, you have now gone through the stretch goal of 4K. So we're going to up the ante, and we're going to see if this can get to 6K by the end of tomorrow night. Well done, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone. That is fantastic. Didn't we set the goal of 4K last night or yesterday?
I might have announced it yesterday morning, yeah.
Yeah, you all are amazing, and I cannot thank you enough.
It's been so much fun, it really has. What else is there this morning? Maybe this will help get you to 6K. Don't forget we have the Outworld Crusher Mini, which is 3D printed by our friends down in Melbourne. I've forgotten their name. I'm so sorry. Miniporium, there's the name, Miniporium. We also have some of the Jasper's RPG dice sets made by Die Hard Dice. We also have the Jasper's Limited Edition D20s in the Tiltify. Those are made by Heartbeat Dice and look glittery, if I'm not wrong.
Yes,
and of course, your Wild Magic Surges, my friends. Go, have fun, be merry, give them hell.
Have fun, and I will see you again tomorrow.
Bye.
Hello, my name is RJ Cresswell, and I am going to be the Dungeon Master for this 5th edition's actual play stream tonight. Tonight we're doing this for Jasper's Game Day. It is a charity show, and I believe there are several things that you could potentially donate to affect the outcome of the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a brief round of player and character introductions. Again, my name is RJ Cresswell, and I will be the Dungeon Master for tonight. So, Peter, if you will, please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about Baki, just basically what all the other characters might already know about them, given that you know each other just very little.
Hi, I'm Peter Medeiros. I'll be playing Baki, a very young Tabaxi paladin with gray fur, big ears, and all his new friends probably have noticed that for a paladin, he's not the most courageous and is trying really hard to be brave. That's about it.
Right. Thank you. Preston, talk to us about yourself and Neilbog.
Hi, as you heard, my name is Preston. I play Gunner/Char in Fate Script on Venic Elder's stream. I'm playing Neilbog, a goblin cleric. He's not your typical cleric. He doesn't really seem to have a god, or at least he sort of looks like he worships himself. And he's very plucky, very in your face.
Thank you. Sean, talk to us about yourself and Alistair.
Okay, I am Sean Sunday, also known as Brain Beast Studios, and I am playing Alistair Ray. He, to all appearances, seems to be a half-elf, except for his weird eyes and pointy teeth. And what you can't really tell is or is not tattoos. He's a rogue, and he seems to be very sure of himself, but he's a friendly sort of chap.
All right, thank you. George, please tell us about yourself and Creed.
Hey guys, I'm George Goldfeather. I'm from Split the Party, and today I'm playing Creed Calamity. He is a wild magic sorcerer, and he's half drow. He's much older. I mean, he didn't get any of the good traits from being a half-elf, and he's very salty about that. So he's grumpy in life. He's got very grey, sunken eyes and very sullen looking. He's just not happy to be here.
All right, thank you. Ron, tell us about Kit.
Hi, I'm Ron. I'm playing Kit Tamari's Vargio, Kit for short. Kit is a half-elf rogue investigator working the Principality of Silvery Moon, but his head agents had selected Bard as his deep cover, which he is terrible at. So he might seem schizophrenic as we're going back and forth through his different personalities, his stern, deep, dark, investigative side, and then this body personality that he's not that comfortable with, but he has to play in order to get the job done.
Thank you. And Daniel, talk to us about Lernus.
Good evening from where I am, everybody. My name is Daniel, and I'll be piloting Lernus Toombs, a also character that has personality issues, in that he is a guard from the city, watchman from the city of Waters Deep, and he's also an amateur archaeologist, and unfortunately, he has discovered a tomb of a Hydra spirit that has possessed him, and so in dangerous situations, the Hydra tries to kill him by making him reckless in combat and drive foes to him. He's not very sure about how to handle all this, so he's trying to not get anyone killed, but also not die at the same time.
All right. Thank you all very much. Now we're going to get started here pretty shortly. But just to let you know, once again, we're going to be playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, and D&D is about to release a new book known as Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft, and horror is one of my favorite kind of settings, and we're going to be playing in sort of a homebrew domain of dread, and I promise you I've developed this thoroughly, so, you know, I've thought everything out for this. Now, this place is called the City of Solib. So, let's turn it over and figure out what's going on tonight. You find yourselves, strangers, in an even stranger place. Once swallowed by the mist, you now search for a way home, a way to leave the city of Solib, a frozen city, and yet a city that glows with the fires of its foundry. You've managed to eke out an existence in the sprawl beyond the walls, and we find you tonight amidst other strangers you've met. Kit, the bard, Creed, the sorcerer, Baki the paladin, Alistair the rogue, Lernus the barbarian, and Nilbog the cleric. You're at an inn known as the Leering Star. It's quiet and warm. And Oscar, the tavern keep, has seen to your needs. Across from you sits Evie Ironcraft, a gnomish woman with darker skin and silvery tattoos that gleam in the firelight. She drains her tankard and rests it on the table. Look, I know you don't want to stay here any more than I do. And I'm telling you, this is your way out. Only one ship ever docks in the Maw, and only one ship ever leaves. Comes in, a captain, and no crew. And I don't care how good that sailor is. If they can bring her in and take her out alone, so can I. All you have to do is get me there. Now, you know it's a risk, and I suspect you need to talk it over. How about I buy another round while you boys think about it? And with that, Evie leaves the table and walks over to the bar and begins speaking with Oscar. And now, I'm going to turn it over to you. Now, so you know, as I've previously mentioned, you were strangers brought here, surrounded by the swirling mist, and you found yourself in this city of basically ice and steel. Seems to be perpetual winter here, and always in the distance you see these fiery glow in the darkened sky. You smell iron all about you. The wind is always a winter chill, and this frozen mist always seems to hang in the air. But you've met one another, basically kind of on the outskirts of the town, sort of lying low. And you've heard rumors about this place, about how there is some dread lady. She's known as the manager or Vala Malvalos. Some call her the Knight of Soot. So, this is sort of the setup. And I'm going to turn it over to you to kind of interact with one another. Perhaps contemplate Evie's proposal of getting out of this fell land.
It's just one guy on a boat. It can't be too bad.
It can't be any worse than this lamb shank I'm eating. I mean, this is absolutely disgusting.
Yes, but if it's so simple, why hasn't anyone thought of it before?
In my experience, these things are not nearly as simple as they appear.
Look, it seems pretty simple to me. We just go and get on the boat and get this person on the boat, and we'll just go and we'll get out of here. I mean, what's to say no to?
But where is this boat going? And where is it coming from?
Away from here, and that's enough for me.
I think I agree with the sour one.
It means you
any activity is better than just sitting here waiting to freeze. This is no way to be. None of us belong here.
Well, I'm inclined to agree with you, my friend, but let's just... I mean, adventure is all well and good. Let's just try not to die, hey?
Really agree. Definitely.
Yeah. Not dying is high on the list.
No one likes boats.
All right, Peter, it sounded like you were trying to weigh something in there. I didn't quite catch you. What was...
Oh, no, just fully agreeing with not dying. Vitally important to me. We'll just proceed with that as a ground rule. We all seem to agree on.
Like, number 1 rule of life, don't be on fire. Number 2, don't be dead.
All right, fair enough. So does it seem as though your characters have kind of come to an accord? You can kind of see from across the room, Oscar has served up some tankards and Evie is just glancing back occasionally. Is this a point where there might be like a lull in your conversation?
Yeah.
Or was there more to be said?
I'll call her over. I think we're pretty ready to go. Let's get this boat thing going.
All right. Fair enough. And with that, she'll bring over another round of tankards and set them all on the table for anyone who might want it. Well, what do you say?
Look, I think we're going to take up your offer. We'll get you to that boat.
Sounds good to me, but just quickly before we go, would you happen to have any mint wine back there behind the bar?
Mint wine?
Well, I could certainly ask Oscar, but, and she looks around at the place, it's a bit quaint here. It seems a bit fancy. I'll see what I can do. Now, with that, she'll step away, come back moments later. And I apologize. No mint wine. He did have this, though. She puts down this, looks like a chalice, kind of, but a bit smaller. And in the bottom of it is just this sort of milky, kind of opulescent drink. It's not mint. Tastes a bit like licorice, though.
My word, is that absinthe?
I think that's what he called it.
I wouldn't do that if I were. I wouldn't. That seems not good. Is my advice. I would.
Hey, old timer. My friend, this seems more like it's up your alley, old timer.
I am old, so I love licorice flavored things. So
Everyone does.
I'm going to pour myself a big glass of it. Anyone? No?
We'll have some.
Wait, one moment. Is being ambulatory for the next 5 days something you intend to do?
If that's what drinking this stuff is, yeah.
That would be the opposite.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
no.
all he cares about is getting on the boat, so if this gives him the courage to do so, let him throw up over the side as much as he needs to.
And with that, Evie will chuckle a bit. Go ahead, Ron.
I'll pass. I'll pass on the drink.
Suit
Tails.
yourself.
Fair enough. Now, I'm sure, you'll have either your drink or the water or something like that as you wait here a few more moments. And Evie just sort of looks about the table. Now, as I've said, it is risky. And our first order of business is getting in the city. Gates will be closed. We've got to pass through there on our way to the docks. Now, if you have things you want to take with you, I recommend you pack them up. Also, if you have any equipment, weapons, armor, anything like that that could be helpful, you might want to get them. Now, by now, there's the curfew. And I don't expect we'll see too many people out in the streets. But you've heard the rumors, as have I. No telling what we might encounter. Now, I'm hearing we're getting a wild magic surge for Alistair.
Of course it is. And that's from Split the Party, isn't it?
I didn't get that information.
I stretch you. It's probably Matt.
Let's see what goes on here.
I've been drinking, I guess, so wild magic, it just pops out.
All right. Each creature within 30 feet of you becomes invisible for the next minute.
I guess they all hated the lampshade. They all gone.
Yeah, so
I've gone blind. I can't see anybody.
Alistair is sitting at this table, as you all are. And pretty much everyone notices that no one is around you anymore. Now, Alistair sees no one in here. Everyone else can see Alistair, but no one else.
Immediately hissing, just in fear.
And you want to go outside?
What's going on here?
I think it's just a little bit of wild magic. It'll wear off. I get sneezy. I get sneezy when I'm drinking.
Okay, so no more of this absinthe for the old timer. No,
You've drunk us all blind.
No, give
That's
it back.
So great.
No, give it back. All right, fine. I won't drink anymore. All right, let's go collect our things and get ready to go.
All right. Fair enough. You do that. You speak, for about the next minute, and eventually all of you will return. Not that you ever went anywhere, but you can see one another again. And Alistair sort of sees everyone sort of slowly fade. Not fade, but return to his vision.
Well, that was a good start, I guess. Okay, yeah, no more drinking for you, especially not once we're on the boat.
Whatever you say, wink.
Evie will look across to Oscar and then, just say, almost to herself, almost to you, if that's what that does, perhaps I'll buy a whole bottle. Could be useful.
Yes, all right. Do it.
And with that, she'll go back over to Oscar. You'll see her put coin on the counter, and he'll turn over the green bottle to her. Now, I assume you all get your things together and get at the ready to leave. All right. Now, you do that. Pack up your things. And you're on your way with Evie. You travel through the sprawl, all of these kind of frozen, weathered buildings on the outskirts of the city wall. This is where the place that people don't quite fit inside the city. Usually outsiders, those who find themselves transported here in the mist, normally make their way to the sprawl somehow. But you're trying to get your way back into the city. And you go through these winding streets, past these buildings, through this frozen mist. and you'll come to the city walls. This frozen mist hangs in the air about you. The gates are about 30 feet tall. They're iron. Frost and run. You look about you, notice no guards. What do you wish to do? Evie turns to you. We've got to get in.
Well, look, I guess the first thing we should try and do is be as sneaky as possible.
Yeah. So, is there a window or a readily visible door that we could try to get in through?
As you glance about, I mean, these are almost like iron just placed around the city, riveted together. You don't see like any kind of sliding window or anything like that. Now, that being said, some of you who are a bit more dexterous can certainly spot handholds and footholds and things like that you might try to climb up.
So I'd like to gauge the length of rope I have in my burglar's pack, and I look at the wall and see if I think that I might be able to throw it and get it to grapple.
All right. Well, you're pretty sure that your rope is about 50 feet long. It's a 30-foot high wall. Perhaps if you could get to the top, you could tie it onto something. Give the less dexterous people something to kind of climb up with.
What's the wind like right now?
There is a chill in the air, but it's not very windy. There aren't like howling winter winds or anything like that. There's this mist, and you can tell it's not windy. One, you don't feel it. Two, this mist is just kind of hanging in the air about you, not being blown away or anything like that. So not much wind at all to speak of.
Interesting.
I would give it a climb.
Okay. Fair enough then. So we've got Kit who's going to try to make their way up this wall. Now, this should be a pretty easy task for you, I think. But nevertheless, we're going to need an acrobatics roll. So Ron, if you'll roll us an acrobatics.
17.
17. All right. You want to narrate yourself kind of moving about halfway up this wall?
Okay. So I approach the wall. I sort of take a couple deep breaths and I look around and I rub my hands, try to make them sticky. And then I sort of slowly but surely make calculated decisions as I work my way up the wall.
All right. Get up 15, 20 feet or so. And what I'll need from you is a dexterity saving throw.
22.
22. That is pretty great. Essentially, what happens is, as you're going up, you hit this spot. You place your hand, and electricity kind of arcs from the metal, zaps your finger a bit, and you manage to kind of like take your hand off of this electrical plate. Now, unfortunately, you are on a metal surface, and some of that electricity continues to pass through the rest of it, but you manage to avoid taking the brunt of damage. And you end up taking about 6 points of lightning damage as you get a significant shock from this.
You're good on there, Kit.
That wasn't good.
Am I invisible?
No.
No, just a little crispy.
Hurt like heck.
Okay, so we saw him get zapped, yeah?
Yes, you definitely saw the arc of electricity. You saw him kind of move quickly out of the way. And then, I mean, you probably saw his body convulse a little bit as he still, caught some of the shock.
Can we see
metal.
if those plates go all the way up?
All right, give me a perception roll.
Come on, Smuggler's Coffee, don't let me down. And let me down. That is great. Perception is there. That's a 5. Fudge.
That's a 5, yeah. Well, definitely as Alistair is kind of like looking around, he doesn't really see any more signs of like, plates like this or anything. Now, that being said, I mean, you gave me a roll, and I guess I really should have looked at your passive perception, which is a 13. So that's pretty good. So let me back that up just a little bit. As your passive perception is a 13, and my DC on that was a 12. So as Alistair is kind of glancing around for these things, he will see other plates, and it looks like they're avoidable. It's not just like a wide band of an area where you have to traverse that.
Yeah. And the wall was 30 feet, you say?
Mm-hmm. And some of these plates are just kind of like strategically placed around, where people might be. Yeah, kind of like as he looks at it, he can tell, they're sort of in the areas like with the most like handholds and footholds and stuff like that, places that it looks like someone could climb the surface.
Lernus, friend, how strong are you?
I mean, in a fair few scraps, I'm more, better at taking a hit and just outlasting my my opponents when I've scrapped than beating them down willy nilly. But I can do something, I'm sure. What's in your mind?
Daniel and Shauna, will pause for a second. I'm seeing now we've got Wild Magic Surge for Neilbog, so y'all keep in mind what you were doing, and let's see what happens with this Wild Magic Surge. All right. Now, Neilbog, cast Fly.
Oh.
On a random creature.
Oh.
Within 60 feet. Now, I've got 6 players, so I am just or actually 5 that he could potentially, no, actually 6 counting the NPC. So I am just going to roll a d6 to see who gets flight cast on them.
Come on.
Can I flavor this a little bit?
Can you explain this?
I was about to cast guidance on someone.
Okay.
But so I don't care if it like ricochets or something, but I was going to cast guidance and see if that helped the skill roll we're about to do, I think. But anyway.
Okay. All right. So on the random roll that I just made, it would have been Kit who received the flight. So do you think it's possible that you might have cast guidance on them, or did you have like another target in mind?
No, who was about to do the skill check? I think wasn't that
we hadn't decided what we were going to do yet.
Okay. Well, I'll just shout, "Nilbog will help you," and reach out, and it'll just fly off in a different direction.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I see you do that, and it spooks me, and I'm like, and then I like accidentally magically knock it away, and it turns into Fly.
Right. And with this, this sort of wild surge of wild magic energy that emanates from Neilbog after he says, Neilbog will help you. Kit feels this strange sensation, and they feel themselves sort of like drifting away from the wall. And not only that, I mean, you can control this. You're as unbelievable as it is. You're flying.
Somebody catch him! Somebody catch him! Somebody! Nope. No. He's okay. Never mind.
Did we tie off a rope to him like a balloon at all?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he could totally come back down to the ground. He already had a rope in his hand, presumably.
That's true. He did mention that. That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially, Kid is able to fly.
I'm working my way to the top.
All right.
I'm working my way to the top, and I want to tie my rope off somewhere up there.
All right. That is something you are definitely capable of doing. So you just sort of use this flight to traverse the rest of the wall. You go up top, you find somewhere to tie it off, and you just toss it back down to everyone.
But I'd also like to take a moment to look what's on the other side of the wall, survey what I see.
Mort. What you see on the other side of the wall is a sprawling city. as far as you can see. And again, this is a city coated in ice. And off in the distance, on the far side of the skyline, you see a glow. And you've heard about the foundry before. Apparently, this is a place where this dread lady, this manager, this Valis Malvalos resides. It's also a place that, when apparently things are made there. You've heard rumors, strange things. You see that off in the distance, looming on the horizon.
While he's up there, I'm just going to turn to the others. See, this is the power of Nilbog. I told you.
Yes, friend, you did a great job.
Come on, lads, up.
So,
are you gonna make us all fly there, our friend Nilbog? Is that a thing you're doing now, or are you just?
No. I'm going to start climbing the rope. Fly yourself.
No. Fair enough.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So Nilbog starts climbing the rope. I'm sure, if people stand around, Evie will probably start hoisting herself up it as well. No one really needs to make a check for this. You've got a rope. You're capable adventurers. You can climb up. You can climb up this now. Now, kind of when you all get up and over, at the top, you see basically what Kit had seen, this sprawling city with this foundry on the horizon glowing red. And you make your way into the city proper. And if the sprawl had seemed disorganized and chaotic in the way that it was laid out, the city is so much more. There's no telling how many thousands of people might reside here. And even in the sprawl on the outskirts of town, you've never seen fields or anything that looks like it's a place where someone could produce food. No agriculture, no livestock, nothing like that. Yet food arrives in the city somehow. And you see this sprawling city, and you've entered it. Now, once you get over this wall, Evie will just kind of look back to everyone. We're going to have to make our way through the city. I know my way around a bit. I've worked in the foundries before, as a tinker. That's not where we want to go. I've seen some things there. And, well, guards, if you can really call them that, are thickest there. I'd prefer it if we could go under. That may not be pleasant. There are sewers and drains that run underneath the city, empty into the sea. There's a place just on the other side of the market. We can make it there. An entrance into the sewers, and if we can go in there, we can make our way onto the foundry, into the docks. With that, she'll start walking, unless anyone wants to interrupt her.
Oh, it's always the sewers. I just got these sandals.
Yes, but you're magic. Don't you know prestidigitation? You can just zip, 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 and you're clean.
But some of us don't have spells like that. Some of us chose things like friends and dancing lights.
Well, some of us didn't make the best life decisions, did we?
No, we did not.
Hence why we're all where we are now. Let's be honest.
Well, yes, I wasn't always this, so I can't really talk.
I have a question for Evie. Professionally speaking, there's not a lot of guards, and having that being my profession, it seems a little unusual. What is keeping the city policed and managing the curfew you mentioned?
Creations.
That is delightfully vague. I love it.
Yeah, care to elaborate?
Well, I have seen things animate. I've seen things. I've seen people slain.
I have slain people.
What was that, Sean?
I have slain people. Who hasn't seen people slain?
No, I mean, I've seen people slain by that. I mean, people slain by people before. What I mean to say is, I've seen objects come alive, things placed about the city, dangerous things.
Sounds like home.
Oh my word, Creed, was that?
Sounds like Creed's awful dangerous right now as well.
Sorry, guys. I know you were having a really deep conversation, but it's the lamb shank. It's wreaking havoc with the insides.
I don't think that was lamb.
All right, so we've got Creed farting and then wild magic occurring right afterwards. Now, with this wild magic surge,
I'll say it's a surge.
I'm just gonna back away from you, my little friend.
This is just too perfect. Creed casts levitate on himself as this happens.
Not over my head, please.
All right, quick, guys. Let's get to the sewers. Let's get to the sewers right now, so I don't have to step in the waters.
I feel like I've read about this in a book somewhere.
Anyone have a bow?
I do.
Like a hair bow or like a bow?
An arrow.
I have many. I also have a slingshot, so, I mean, what's the plan?
I throw Creed the end of the rope to pull him down.
Oh, okay.
Catch the rope and I tie it to myself.
You're just slowly off-gassing and levitating about.
I have him like a balloon. So I have like a big Creed balloon.
You're just kind of pulling him along like that, and with that, Evie just kind of looks at everyone. Wow, a little hard to talk about death of innocence with this going on, but just mind the things about you.
Yeah, no, don't let me interrupt.
Can anybody cast silence on Creed?
Get under the sewers. Those all sound terrible. This smells terrible. You had an entrance that we can away from here with the.
Yes, just follow me. And with that, she'll head on down to the city. Now, you've seen that there are no real guards about or anything like that. Someone had mentioned stealthiness earlier. Is this something y'all want to be doing, or?
Yeah, I think we should.
I don't want to presume, but
Alistair's definitely going to try to keep to the shadows as much as possible.
Fair enough. Then what I think we need to do is have a group stealth roll. If at least make it.
And Alistair's also going to quickly turn to Bucky.
My furry little friend, I have a feeling that you suffer from the same sensitive sniffer that I do. Here, take this.
And he'll hand him a bit of cotton, 2 bits of cotton that have been dipped in lavender oil.
I'm going to very nervously kind of take them. I'm going to kind of eye them. 1, 2, looks fine. Thanks.
And yeah, Alistair's going to do the same.
Oh, could I grab 2 of those too?
You're the reason for the smell, my friend. You haven't earned it.
Rats.
Whiskers just kind of curl a little bit, like it's not very comfortable, but thanks.
Right. Yeah. So y'all are, kind of trying to mitigate the smell somewhat as you're making your way through. Now, just very quickly, if I could get stealth rolls from everyone. We're doing a group stealth check. If at least half of you make it, then you're moving reasonably stealthy.
Creed got a 15.
Pick out the gelatinous cube and see what happens.
It has an 18.
18? All right.
That is 20. Dirty 20.
20.
I only have an 11.
11? Okay. What about Neil?
Lernus stepped on a patch of ice and kind of lost his balance and then kind of kicked over some trash and stumbled about a bit for a 5.
Is that a nat? Oh, okay.
Yeah, 5.
I'm more saver. You tell me, friend.
I'm so I touch you on. Oh, it's under my. Never mind. I can't do it to my. In that case, it is a 9.
Okay. All right then. Well, nevertheless, a few of you, not as stealthy as some of the others, but as a whole, you think you're moving reasonably quietly. I'm sure that, some of you who are doing a little bit better probably help the rest of the party members kind of along with this. Now, you will continue keeping to the shadows, moving through these winding streets. And eventually, after several blocks and alleys and roads, you make your way to an open square. And rime covers the weather buildings circling the square. A smell like blood is so thick in the air that you can almost taste it. Within this square, there are 4 statues, powdered with snow, placed about. It's a quartet of musicians. And as you're keeping to the shadows, crossing this square, a sound, kind of like a warped music box, begins to play. And Lernus turns and sees one of these statues turn its head towards him, kind of cock its head to the side just a little bit too far. And its eyes begin to glow, this eldritch sort of blue. And what I need from the lot of everyone is a round of initiative checks.
Yeah, this is not a good thing.
I think we've seen now what he was talking about.
Okay, that's a nat 20 plus 2. 22.
I'll do literally one better. Nat 20 plus 3, 23.
Nice. And Alistair is just going to turn to Creed and be like,
"What did you do?"
Oh, no, it just could have been me, could have been nothing else. You don't know, statues are all alive in this place.
I mean, so far it's always been you, so I'm not very confident in that.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that.
All right, now I've got Baki up top, followed by Alistair, followed by these statues, unless anybody else has 20 or higher.
I got a 20.
Creed has a 20 as well? Okay, all right. In that case, we'll let Creed go before these statues. All right, what did Neilbach have?
17.
Was that a 17?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, what about Kit?
8.
8. And then Lernus?
A grand 11.
Okay, so we're going to have Neilbach, Lernus, and Kit. So our order is going to be Baki, Alistair, Creed, these statues, Neilbog, Lernus, and Kit. Now, top of the round, we've got Baki, who hears this music begin to play, this sort of warped music box kind of sound, then sees this eldritch blue glow. What does Baki want to do in response to that?
So
you're currently about 30 feet away from these statues.
Okay. Who is closest to the statues?
Unwisely, on my part, we never established a marching order. So what do we think the marching order would have been like? The closest person is the person who'll be about 30 feet away. So what do y'all think I would have been doing by way of marching?
I'm going to guess that Lernus was probably in the front with the way he's crashing through the garbage.
I don't mind taking point in that kind of a role, being the foreguard for sure in the van.
Alistair wouldn't be far behind. Like, he's keeping to the shadows as much as he can in case he needs to duck away, but he's not necessarily going to be at the back of the group.
Okay.
And Creed would have been above me, so we would have been sort of similar location.
Yeah, I'd probably be last or second last.
All right. Okay, so I've got Baki followed by Alistair, and then Creed is going to be last or second last. Is that what we said? So, second last.
Yeah.
And that's going to be kind of around Kit. Did we say Kit is before or after Creed?
Well, wherever he landed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Now,
Logs in here somewhere.
I'll be sort of at the back near Creed, and even though I rolled it terribly, Nilbog thinks he's doing a great job at being stealthy, and he's like darting between things, right? But like as he goes between things, he's like slapping his feet really loudly on the ground, like.
All right, gotcha. Okay, and then should we have Baki maybe kind of like in the middle? Does that sound reasonable, or do you think?
Yeah, Baki wants in the middle of the group, just looking around the whole time.
All right.
Okay, so in that case, I'm going to very hurriedly take out some of my holy water and just splash the 3 people in front of me, throwing off a very quick prayer, Morning Lord Protecting Service, statues shouldn't move, and just get everyone doused in holy water to bless them very quickly.
Okay. All right. In that case, the 3 people kind of like around you are the Bard, Kit, and then you've also got the Simic Hybrid, Alistair, and then you've got Lernus. You can kind of like splash all of them. So what's your blessing?
Gotcha. Whenever a target makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, so up to a minute, they can roll a d4 and add that to the attack roll or the saving throw.
So y'all be sure to add your d4 on that attack roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for Baki?
Can I tell where the sound is coming from? The music box? Can I like tell where that is?
Definitely these statues.
Okay. I guess if they're not moving yet, I'm going to stay where I am. I'm just going to take my rapier out and just stand there ready to go, just saying, statues shouldn't move. That's not, nope. No, thank you.
All right. Fair enough then. Now, it's going to take us on to Alistair.
Okay, so there's 4 statues. One of them started moving. How high up is Creed?
I think it's probably worn off by now. I think it was only a minute.
Okay, never mind then. In that case, there's nothing that I could perceivably quickly run up and like jump off, is there?
Not if you're like trying to get close to the statues, because the statues are literally in the center of the square.
No, literally just to get height.
You could probably jump off ladders.
Oh, yes. Or, any of the buildings about you. Like I said, there are all of these buildings kind of around the stairs. So, I'm sure there are carts and other things that you might be able to leap atop.
Okay, if there's something that I could like, reasonably climb on top of to get at least 10 feet of height that I could jump off, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, where are you jumping off towards? What are you?
I'm literally just trying to get some air right now, and then I'm gonna see how much movement I've got left after that.
Okay, all right. So from where you are, okay. So you moved about your 10 feet, leaping off that, and that puts you about 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet away from these statues or so. From where you were.
Cool. So as Alistair runs off, he's like,
I'll be right back, friend. Just wait there.
And as he sort of leaps up onto the cart, he pops a couple of straps off the side of his armor and flexes up like this. And you see leathery winglets pop out of the seams of his armor. And he starts gliding as he leaps off the cart. And I'm going to use the rest of my movement to head towards the statues as close as I can get.
That's just gross.
That's fabulous, and I am here for it.
All right, that puts you within about 5 feet of the closest statue.
Okay, and have I burned my action by doing that?
So you kind of climbed up on something with this ability. What does it say for the ability? Is it a bonus action or what is that?
It's literally just a thing I can do if I am in the air. Like if I'm falling off a building, I have the Manta Glide trait. So I can just, it's like the feather fall, essentially. I can glide delicately to a stop because of my inbuilt wings.
Gotcha. Just, for coolness sake or whatever, let's say you didn't burn your action. We'll call that maybe a bonus action or something like that. So.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to use my psychic blades. So as Alistair glides across, everyone can sort of hear and two pink glowing daggers appear in his hands. And he just whips one at the nearest statue.
All right, go for it.
Okay. That is, hang on, did that work? That's damage, that's not the roll. Okay. That's a 23.
23 will hit. You can give me some damage on that.
12, 4 psychic damage, 8 sneak attack damage. Apparently, it's rolling. I'm using the D&D Beyond roller.
So that was 20 altogether, is what you said? 12 and 8?
No, sorry, 12 all up. It was 8. 8 of it was sneak attack and 4 of it was psychic.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you unleash this thing, and your psychic blade, rips against the side of this statue. I mean, you can tell this thing is made of metal. It dislodges some icicles from it, and there's a glow about the thing. You are currently attacking what is essentially the guitarist of this group, or lute player. Now, that's going to be it for Alistair. And it's going to take us on to Creed.
Yeah, Creed is standing there, he's watching all of this fancy stuff. He's like, yeah, nice knives. I've got one too. And I flick an ice knife at one of the statues. Are they within 5 feet of each other?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll try and hit as many of the statues as I can, because when it explodes on whichever the center one is, everything within 5 feet will have to make a dexterity saving throw.
I mean, they are clustered pretty close together.
Yeah,
so.
sick. I'm going to throw just at the one furthest away from Alistair.
Okay, all right. Now, do they make dex saves, or are you going to
the first one, I make an attack roll, which is a 15.
Okay. So
and then
15 will hit? Oh, actually, the 15 does not hit.
Well, then it still explodes, and everything else within 5 feet of it makes a DC 13 dexterity.
Okay. So it explodes. Nothing else makes its dex check. So.
Excellent. Everything else will take 10 ice damage.
All right.
Yeah, see, knives, but magic and throwing and stuff. Oh.
All right. Now, is there anything else that Creed can do?
No, Creed just grumbles.
Fair enough.
Oh, and I have to roll a d20. It is not a 1, so I do not wild magic.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, with that, this lute player that Alistair had launched this psychic blade into steps forward in front of them. And when they do that, these eyes that were kind of already glowing unleash this stream of lightning. And what I need from Alistair,
okay,
is the dex check. And not only Alistair, but let's see, that's 5, 10, 15, 30. I am also going to need a dex check from our Tabaxi and from our human barbarian.
Okay, so dex check for me, was it? Sorry?
Mm-hmm.
That's a nat 20.
Oh. All right.
Plus 2.
All right, so you got a nat 20. You make your dex check. What about Laernus?
The effect is like drawn toward me, it seems. It is unquestionably hitting me fully in the teeth. Like it wants to hit me.
Fair enough. And then what about Baki?
Got an 18 plus 3 is 21, but still, Baki is just shrieking, all the hair poof out, just trying to get out of the way.
All right, fair enough. Now, Larynus ends up taking 14 points of damage. Alistair and Baki take 7 points of damage as they are able to get mostly out of the way of this beam of electricity.
Oh, wait, did you guys add your D4 on saving throws?
Oh. Well, no, I didn't need it because I got a nat 20.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
I did. It didn't help.
Never mind.
No.
Sorry. Sorry.
Fair enough then. All right. Now, with that, another one of these statues begins running forward across the icy stairs square. And I am going to need checks from our bard and from our drow sorcerer.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
I'm bad at checks.
Dexterity?
Mm-hmm.
That is an 11 from me. Oh,
No,
wait,
you're
plus
saying
my-
checks. Are you meaning saving throws?
Saving throws.
Okay.
Plus my D4.
That might matter for some folks.
That is
Yes.
a 12.
That's a good point. Yeah. All right. And what did Kit have?
Critical fail.
Okay. All right. Well, you're both. You say Creed has a 12?
Yeah.
All right. So Creed is going to take 6 points of damage.
Ow!
Kit is going to take 12.
Ooh.
Now,
I'm in death throes.
Uh-oh.
Kit drops. Now the other two rush up. One on the barbarian, one on the paladin. And there's a swing at the barbarian with this metal kind of blade that extends from the arm of the statue. And then a swing at the paladin. And the barbarian is able to kind of knock the blade away, and so is the paladin. And then we go on to Nilbog.
Apologies. How many statues are there?
There are 4.
Oh, okay. Blah, 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 blah. And Kit is down.
Kit is down.
How's everyone else looking?
Not too bad, you know. I've taken 6 damage though, so could definitely always use healing.
I am alive, but I am hurting.
Okay. So I'm going to run over to Kit, and I'm going to cast Cure Wounds. Nilbog grabs the. He's wearing like a little necklace of like a clay-like figure. Kind of looks like him, but you're not really sure. It's very poorly made. He goes, Nilbog can heal you, and then tap his little clawed fingernail on your head and cast Cure Wounds.
Oh, creepy. No, I'm fine. I don't need healing.
That's for Kit, by the way. Why is it rolling? Okay. And, that's good. 9. 9 healing.
9. Nice.
Right. So, Kit is conscious, but prone.
Can I also use my bonus action to hide? Is there anywhere to hide?
So, you're pretty small. You could probably hide behind the drow sorcerer, who was sort of right by Kit.
Get away from me.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Wherever the closest I can get to hide, provided I have then enough movement.
All right, sure. Yeah, you can either duck behind the sorcerer or get behind a cart or something like that. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Would you like me to roll a stealth check?
Yes, please.
6.
Oh dear.
I'm not doing good.
I'm hiding so good.
Yeah, I think Nilbog probably thinks he's hiding pretty well. So, all right. Now it's going to take us to Lernus. Lernus, who has one of these statues that came up swinging with this metal blade that extended from its arm.
Poor Lernus. Every time something like this happens, the damned Hydra tries to take over and kill him. And as you see in this moment, this is also the case. And these see if I can do the cool effect maybe. These serpentine heads kind of erupt from his back in a ghostly kind of way. And how did I do that thing earlier? Oh, I did it this way. Is this button? I don't know how I'm doing. Maybe I do it later. It doesn't matter. And they start like trying to like hiss and scream at him, but also kind of like draw the attention of the enemies toward him and away from the other targets. And he's going to rage and attack recklessly with his halberd at the nearest target. So he will have advantage on his attack roll, but all the others, the opponents have advantage to hit him in return. And if they choose to attack his allies, they have disadvantage to hit them instead of Lernus. Because the serpentine heads are trying to like, no, hit me instead.
Okay. All right.
And so he'll swing with his halberd. 14. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's a critical hit.
Hey.
Because of reckless attack.
Well, there you go then. You've got a critical hit on this. You are attacking the heart player.
Okay. Why is my thing not rolling the damage at the same time? What is going on here? Why are you doing it? Let's see here. Okay, let's do 2d10 plus 4 plus 2. So 2d10 plus 6. / roll 2d10. Total of 19 slashing damage as he definitely slings his halberd about there. The Hydras screech in his success.
Okay. Now, you critically hit this statue. Not only that, but you managed to exceed its structural capacity for damage. So how do you want to take this thing out as you're attacking it with a halberd?
There it is.
Yes.
Let's see. It's kind of a slashing hack there. So let's do like a big overhead chop that drives down into like the shoulder of it, and kind of just chops a full-on shoulder and chunk of the torso off there.
All right, fair enough.
Driving it all the way through.
You rend the metal, splitting it, and it drops. You can see as it drops, you hear or you see some sparks, and you hear kind of like the sounds of gears grinding from within it. Now, it's going to take us on from Lernus to Kit.
Kit, after the spell is cast on him, bringing him back to life, he sits bolt upright, and as his bonus action, cast Bardic Inspiration and yells, "Yes! Yes, we want to live forever!" And then, as my action, I immediately cast Blade Ward on myself.
All right.
And it's a cantrip.
Gotcha. All right. Well, you do that. Now you said you sit bolt upright. Did you actually get up off the ground? No. Did you? Or
No.
you just? No. You remain seated on the ground. Got it. Okay. Anything else from Kit?
No.
All right.
I think that's all I got.
Who did you give inspiration to?
Whoever can hear me.
Oh, everyone has inspiration.
Oh, wow.
All right. Now it's going to take us from Kit back up to the top of the round with Baki.
Okay, so I see Lernus with the Hydra stuff going on, right? I'm still behind it. Lernus, you're also hurting pretty bad, though, right?
I mean, he is unhappy about the situation, but he's kind of in the moment and is not really caring so hard. Cats love snakes, I hear. So, like, we're going to be best friends.
Yeah, no, I'm just losing it, eyes wide. I'm like, Nilbug prays to himself. Creed Fark's magic. I want to go home. But then I'm going to cast Sanctuary on Lernus, which is going to do math. So until the spell ends, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must first make a wisdom saving throw. The spell DC is 12. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack or spell. So everyone wants to attack Lernus because of your thing, but now they don't. It's the idea.
Well, this is a fun combo I never anticipated happening.
And they've disadvantage if they attack anyone else, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, technically the thing I killed had the disadvantage, but I killed it.
Oh.
So it's at maximum disadvantage as it can be now. Being
gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
And I think that's my turn. What's Evie doing? I guess Baki would just check to see if she's helping.
Yeah, well, I mean, she definitely doesn't look like an adventurer. You know, she's more of a tinker or whatever. And I didn't say this, but should have. But yeah, kind of at the end of the round, seeing all these things going on, she would have essentially pulled basically a nail bog and run and hid behind something, you know.
Okay. Seeing that, I'm just like hissing, like, yes, that's good. Stay there. And that's my turn.
Fair enough. Takes us to Alistair now, then.
Okay, so one's down. I'm going to try to... How far would I have traveled? How close would I be to the next one now?
You'd been about 5 feet from it, but it ran up to you and unleashed that bolt of electricity.
Okay, cool. In that case, I'm going to just, like, tuck my wings back and drop onto its shoulders.
Okay.
And then pull out my psychic daggers again and stab them both into its eyes.
All right. Well, give me some attack rolls.
Eat my shiny psychic daggers, you shiny metal fiend!
Okay, that's a 10 for the first one.
Okay, so the 10 will glance off the metal.
And that's a 7 for the second one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So as he drops, he just kind of goes in with his daggers and they, trying to aim for these glowing blue eyes, and it just sort of glances off the metal of the face. Probably, shearing some of the rhyme off of it, but not much more than that. Anything else for Alistair?
Well, that was both my action and bonus action, because I get the Psychic Blades bonus attack. So
takes us to Creed then.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting worn out. This is tiring. And I'm just going to cast Fairy Fire on everything. I assume it's going to hit Alistair as well. But everything makes a DC 13 Dex save.
Okay, so what's your area for Fairy Fire? Because, unfortunately, due to technical issues, you can't see my map tonight.
Fair enough.
But things have spread out a bit.
Okay, it's a 20-foot cube.
Okay, So if you do the one that's on Alistair, you won't be able to get anything else. If you do the one that is on our barbarian friend, you can get 2 of them.
Oh, then I'll go for the 2.
Okay. All right then. So they both make dex saves. What's your difficulty?
DC 13.
Okay. Neither one of them pass.
Excellent. So they are illuminated and everyone has advantage when attacking them. I like the pretty colors.
Anything else for Creed?
No, that is it. I might take like 10 feet back. I'll just walk back.
So what is the color like? Is it kind of like drips from them in this area?
So you kind of see it's almost like a rain, and then as it drips onto them, they get like Technicolor shirts almost. It takes me back to the days. You guys don't know Woodstock, but it was like this.
What was in those drinks earlier? First, we all went blind and didn't see anybody, and now we're seeing iridescent colors rippling.
Good point. D20 roll, and no wild magic.
All
But-
right.
Would have been excellent.
Now, the one that is on our barbarian friend, Ilarinos, attempts to strike.
With advantage.
Actually, hold on.
Oh, he's got the
Oh,
sanctuary and then advantage.
Yeah, I actually dropped the wrong one on my map over here. It's actually swinging towards Baki.
There you go.
Now, Baki has a 15, and that's going to be a hit. So this blade,
No good deed.
this blade comes in, and when it strikes, it deals 4 points of slashing damage. So it kind of just cuts across Baki. Now, the other one rushes up to the sorcerer, attempting to strike with its blade. That's a 17 on the die, so I know that hits as well.
Definitely.
And the sorcerer takes 6 points of slashing damage.
Ow. I don't like you, Mr. Statue. Get away from me. I'll bite your knees.
All right. Now, the one that is on Alistair, or rather, Alistair is on this one, having dropped down on his shoulders from above. It attempts a piercing strike upwards with its arm blade.
Oh no, like this. Watch where you're pointing the thing.
Yeah, and as you do that, I mean, you're able to get out of the way sort of deftly, as it just strikes a glancing blow, and does no damage to you at all whatsoever. Now that's it for the statues, and we're back to Neilbog. Neilbog, who had kind of hid behind a cart.
Oh no, I think I was behind what's his name?
You were behind
Sorcerer,
Creed,
you
but I
stayed there?
stepped
Okay.
back so that you could be visible instead of me.
Oh right, okay. I will bonus action disengage from. I'm assuming that Creed is that statue close to me too now.
No, it's not within 5 feet of you.
Okay.
So you won't take an attack of opportunity if you move away from it.
I'll still bonus action disengage anyway because I'm trying to look cool. And I'll do a little barrel roll. I'll roll back up, pull out a crossbow that I have, and just for flavor, I'm actually going to cast Guiding Bolt, but it's not going to be just a spell. I'm going to again hold my little necklace thing and say, "This is it," and run my fingernail along the crossbow. And as I do, a glowing greenish flame appears on the crossbow, and I'm going to fire it at the statue that's attacking you. So I'm casting Guiding Bolt.
You said the statue that's attacking who? It kind of cut out for me.
Oh, sorry. The statue that is
Creed?
Creed. Yes. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So do your Guiding Bolt.
Guiding Bolt. So that is 14 to hit.
14's not quite high enough. So, I mean, you strike the statue, but
Was this one of the ones actually that had fairy fire, so you would get advantage?
Oh, that's a good point. It is one of the ones that has fairy fire, so you do get advantage.
I rolled exactly the same number.
Never mind.
It was kismet. It was meant to be as it is.
All right, then. Well, that's going to be a miss. Anything else for Neilbog?
I just look around nervously to see if anyone saw me fail.
I saw it. Embarrassing.
It's your fault.
That takes us back to Lernus, then.
All right, that's me.
One of these statues glowing, and it is on our Tabaxi friend Baki. It's right next to you, just sort of diagonal to you.
That was good. That was going to be my question. I have a halberd, so I've got a reach weapon. If there's nothing directly adjacent, I will poke something slightly further away or move to do so.
Yeah, well, this one is directly adjacent.
Yeah, the most immediate target. And the same again happens. The hydras are trying to draw the thing's attention to me, and its rage fills me to attack recklessly. on this thing. And so I will do the attack on my ting. 21 succeed.
Yes, it does.
Fantastic. That is +4. Why is it not rolling at the same time? Stupid thing. Total of 8 damage this time. Slashing for what that matters, and it is it has disadvantage to attack other targets, and if it does hit them, they have resistance to the damage if they still get hit.
Okay, fair enough then. Yeah, you don't drop this one, but your halberd does bite into the metal. No, it being a statue shows no sign of pain at all whatsoever. The metal just rends a bit. And then it takes us back to Kit.
Oh, glorious Dungeon Master. 2 questions.
Go ahead, Ron.
Maybe just one. Does 2-weapon fighting, does that cover the throwing of daggers?
Let's see. With 2-weapon fighting, man, I don't know. That question's never come up, but I think it is. You have to have.
Yes, I'm reading it right now because Alistair also has it, and it says if either weapon has the thrown property, you can throw it instead of making a melee attack with it.
Well, there you go, Ron. Yes, you can.
Well, then I would like to throw 1 dagger at one of the illuminated statues and then one at the other.
Okay, go for it.
And does advantage work for both those throws, or just
they're still glowing?
All right, sweet. All right, dagger 1.
Yeah, and they're both within 5 feet of your allies, so you could get a sneak attack on that.
Okay, well that was an 8, so that might not have hit. So I'm gonna have to try it again for advantage. That was a critical success.
Hey.
Oh, all right then. So you get a critical success on the one that is on Creed.
And then the damage on that is 10. I'll take the sneak attack now. I've got a hit. Add 6 to that. And then I'm throwing the other dagger at the other one.
All right, so you're going to drop the first one. How do you want to take it out? What do you think happens?
Well, I stand up and I look. I'm still kind of a little half dead. And I kind of shake out the cobwebs and I concentrate and I take the knife and I throw it as hard as I can. And as it pierces the eye of the statue, that it just disintegrates the skull.
All right. You do that and the thing drops to the cobbles with a clang on the ground. Now you've got another dagger that you're going to throw.
Yeah, that was a 9, so probably miss. I'll have to use the advantage on that. And then the second roll. Critical fail. Oh no, it's a 7, not a 1. 12. Sorry. 12.
Right then. So it's a miss. You know, your dagger just kind of goes past it, lands on the icy cobble, slides a good distance away, but is not in the back of Baki. So that's good.
And I say, "Hills."
All right, and then that takes us back up to the top of the round with Baki.
Okay. Very quickly, Baki can tell these are constructs, right? These are not like, there's no shenanigans. These aren't like some kind of weird fiend aberration type thing.
These seem to be constructs. In fact, the one that Laernus dropped, you saw kind of like clockwork gears grinding, within it, some sparks when it dropped. Definitely appears to be a construct.
Right. Awesome. In that case, I'm going to go ahead and channel divinity, and I'm just going to hold up my rapier, pray to the morning lord, and it starts to glow with this bright yellow light, which is going to give me +2 to attack rolls. It's also a very bright light. Like for 20 feet, it's bright. Not blinding, but very bright. And Baki just kind of shaking the head, works up a little bit of courage, and I'm just going to attack the nearest one that Laernus was working on that is not down yet, right? Okay. And I'm going to use the inspiration die that I have as well. So this should be a kind of hefty roll, I hope. All right. Without the inspiration die, it's already a 21. So, yeah, that's a good hit. Cool. That's going to be 9 damage.
Okay. You were going to take that one out. Do you want to narrate what that looks like for us?
Nice.
Yeah, just absolutely terrified, just swinging right at its head, and hopefully it doesn't go all the way through. The thing's made of metal, but just kind of halfway through, cuts, and then stops. And it takes a second for Baki to get it back out as it crumples to the ground.
All right, excellent. And it does that, drops to the ground with a clank. And back to Alistair now, who has the only remaining statue he's in combat with.
Okay, so quick question. Can I see like a gap in the armor and see any of the gears anywhere? Like maybe under an armpit or something?
Yeah, I mean, if you're kind of like glancing at it, there are gaps within the structure of it. You know, like there's this metal plating and things like that. Oh, it's not quite seamless.
Okay, cool. All right, so how am I going to do this? I'm going to use my interact with an object and stab one of my real daggers into the dirt.
Into the what?
Into the ground.
Okay.
And just like try to stomp on it and embed it in there as much as I can. And what I want to do is I want to tie my rope off to that and onto my other dagger, and either whip that thing into a gap or just run up and jab it through a gap in the armor and into the gears. And watch it get sucked into the gears.
So I think that sounds pretty cool, but that sounds like a lot to do with an action.
I have cunning action.
Yes. So with cunning action, you could certainly do like a fast hands thing to like tie off, you know, a rope or something like that.
Yeah.
But we've also got you wanting to put one in the ground and then one in the thing. So
yeah. So I was hoping that I can use my interact with an object to stab it into the ground, cunning action to do the tying off, and my actual attack, which is separate from cunning action, to stab it through the plate.
Okay. All right then. So give us an attack roll.
Trying to maximize those. Try to at least use cunning action for something worthwhile once this game.
All right, go for it.
That's fine.
Okay. All right then. So as you kind of stab this dagger into this gap under the arm, even though you're not really piercing it, why don't you go ahead and roll me some damage? Just your normal kind of damage from a dagger.
That is 12.
Okay. And that is 2 more than you need to destroy it. So you can narrate what you think that looked like.
Okay, cool. So yeah, like everyone would see him like plunge this dagger in between a couple of cobblestones or something, and he raises up and shoves the other one with the rope tied to it. And you see it just like immediately get chomped up by the gears and start whirring through, and the rope is being pulled in, and you can hear like the gears seizing up as it pulls itself into the ground with a crash, and just like cogs and plates start bursting as the rope just fouls up these gears and it strains against itself in like a broken child's toy.
Yeah, and that is exactly what it sounds like. As well, as I had mentioned, you know, there was this sort of like warped music box sound seemed to have been emanating from this one right here. This was the one that had initially spearheaded the attack. And as, you know, you kind of muck up the gears, you know, it goes even worse as this song just kind of like winds down to a stopping point with a screech of gears and things like that. You know, there's a bit of smell, this tinge, this twang of sort of heated metal in the air about you as it collapses, and its eyes no longer glow. They fade and grow dark, and you all are left in this square. Now, before we go further, I did note in chat that perhaps someone needs to take a bio break. Is that a thing that we can do?
I could use one as well.
Sure. Is 5 minutes good for everyone?
Sure.
All right. In that case, we're going to do a 5-minute bio break. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
All right.
Now we're back from our bio break, and what had just happened previously, before this break, was our characters had wandered into this square, and these statues sort of animated, and there was a bit of a combat with them. And you've come out victorious, not unscathed, but you've dropped every single one of them, and they're all around in, rended metal and gears that have grinded to a halt. And these glowing blue eyes have since dimmed. Now, we're picking up right there. I'll sort of tell me what's going on as Evie rushes out from behind the cart. I knew I'd choose you well. I could tell you're capable.
Yeah, we're capable as anyone else, but man, that really smacks.
And I turn on it very quickly. And just how far is this ship?
He points off in the distance. You see the glowing. It's close to that. Now, with that, I mean, she's pointing off quite a distance, toward the horizon.
Always vague and mysterious with this one. Truly creative.
Right. I'd say we are quite capable, as you mentioned, but also capable of drawing a lot of attention with the noise and ruckus we just created. Is there a way that we can go, is the entrance that you mentioned into the sewer incredibly nearby, or is there more skulking required in this?
A few blocks that way. As you say, I'd recommend we get about it. She looks around. You see probably some lights, kind of ignite in windows about you. There's no way that this was not heard by some.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. Yeah. I'm with the fluffy one. Let's go. I need a 10-minute power nap or something.
Fair enough then. Well, you all will head away from this square on further into the city through these winding roads and alleys and things like that. She'll lead you for, perhaps another 5 minutes or so away from the square. And I'm assuming that you're continuing to try to move sort of stealthily as you're doing this. Now, with that, you'll come to another kind of wall that's sort of within the distance, not quite as high as the exterior walls. She'll point to that. If we were going to the foundry, it'd be through there. We don't want to go in there. I know there are more of things like that we would encounter. We can go under. Perhaps won't quite be as dangerous. And with that, you see she's near kind of a sewer grating. We just need to get in. Go under.
Right, yeah, I guess we'll go through the sewers again. Worked so well last time.
I don't think we've done it yet. I don't think this is our first sewer.
Well, then let's go through the sewers. It always works so well. Cover our feet in feces.
Deep seas. Feetsies? Footsies.
All right.
I don't know.
Now you've got this sort of large kind of iron sewer grating there. What do you wish to do?
Look, you, the strong one, the barbarian. Maybe you want to try giving this a lift?
Don't keep throwing this barbarian word around. I am from the city. I am a civilized person. I apologize for what you witnessed previously, but I am a barbarian.
Okay, apologies. City barbarian. Do you want to give this a go?
Is it look like the grate is affixed in place by any kind of mechanisms, or is it just kind of sitting there, held in place by its own weight and gravity?
It looks like it's in place by its weight and gravity. I mean, it's a big piece of iron.
Okay. Does it look particularly rusted, and it will make it? Is it hinged, or is it just you just lift it and move it?
You lift it and move it, and it doesn't look like anyone's done that recently.
Okay.
And on top of that, there is kind of like a layer of, sort of ice or rime or whatever, kind of coated around the metal.
Nilbog, servant of Nilbog, you were so good at guiding our rogue earlier to scale the wall in a really magnificent fashion. Could you also perhaps give me some guidance on how I best could lift this great?
No, I cannot. But Nilbog can. I will touch you and cast guidance.
I'll take the help action by giving you some choice words.
And Alistair is going to pull out a crowbar.
You can do this.
My friend, why don't you try this?
The team is coming together for this mundane effort so well. I love it.
You got this.
All right.
Fair enough. In between your strength, Alistair's crowbar, I'm gonna sure I'm sure that you can probably get advantage on this plus your guidance. So why don't you give it an athletics check at advantage plus your guidance?
Hooray! Just super excel.
Pick up
Which
that
was
heavy
necessary. I rolled an amazing 11, so about as average as I possibly could. But this was just, the ice, it slipped a little bit. It was hard to find a hold initially.
Well, certainly, yeah. And the ice doesn't crack anything like that at all whatsoever. It just stays firm.
I think it was a bad footing. We should try this again, I think. We didn't make a bunch of noise, did we?
Oh, no, you didn't make a lot of noise, as you were doing it.
I didn't fail that. That's what I was trying to hopefully avoid.
Is there a way we can get the ice off first before we try to lift it?
I have an idea for that.
I'm all ears, Alistair. What do you got?
I pull out a flask of lantern oil and just start splashing it all over the grate and the ice.
Yeah, make it nice and slippery. That'll be easy to lift.
Okay, so now who's gonna
I stand back against the wall as far as I can, just kind of waiting.
Okay, I guess it's me then, and I just start cracking my tinderbox towards the wall, but
shield your eyes, man.
I'm taking a few steps back.
Yeah, I mean, you shower the thing with sparks, and eventually it catches and begins burning this oil on the ice. Now, and with that, I mean, obviously this ice is going to begin melting, and then it's going to sort of sizzle. A bit of steam will rise from it, and eventually the flames will be extinguished. From
We're just a bunch of hobos hanging out by a dumpster fire. There's nothing to see here. Don't worry about. Don't worry
I
about
learned
that.
this from watching the dragons. You just put fire on it, and it's all good.
It's true.
All right.
All right. Let's try another athletics check. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Go for it.
Oh
You got
man,
this.
you'll be amazed at this, guys. It's mind-blowingly accurate how I can roll an 11 again. This is the third 11 I've rolled this game. I think maybe is it anyone else here capable of string flea things? Eventually, I feel like we could probably
the crowbar
do this.
grants advantage to all the strength checks.
Oh yeah, I definitely have. I'm sorry. I rolled a 12 with advantage.
Okay. Gotcha.
Oh, I'll try it, and I walk up and I snatch the crowbar. Then I
go for it, Ron. Because I got to say, out of all the things that I thought might thwart the party, I didn't think it would be a sewer grating.
So
boss.
We athletics check, you said?
Yes, an athletics check. And you got a crowbar. You're going to do that at advantage.
And Alistair pulls out a hammer.
What, this help?
So that was 18.
Okay. 18 will be enough. So.
See, I've absorbed your bad dice there, Kit, and taken it into me.
Now, you are able to kind of wedge the crowbar in there and just, sort of get some leverage and pry this thing up and get it moved off into the side. Now it sort of grates along the cobbles, making a bit of noise. But you can see a ladder descending down into the darkness. Now,
a sewer and a sewer.
You've been out within the city, and it's just sort of been this pale light that's been about, cast, by just these lamp lights here and there. But it's definitely dark. And I think there's at least one member of the party that might cause an issue for, if not more. I can't remember about simic hybrids. Do they have...
I have dark vision.
I also have a lantern.
Okay. All right, then. So, yeah, we've got at least a human that's probably going to have some issues with this. So, what do y'all want to do regarding that?
Alistair's just going to turn around and like put his backpack on the ground, rummage around, pull out the lantern, and pass it over to Lernus.
There you go.
Ugh, humans.
There you go, my friend. Yeah, you might need this.
Yeah,
There we go.
definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna start heading down the ladder.
I don't have a lot of oil left, though, so just watch out for that.
Then y'all will light this lantern and head down into the darkness. And when you get down there, you'll find that as opposed to the cold night air that you were in, I mean, it's relatively warm and humid down here. And if not for the lantern, it would be dark. But because you have this lantern, light is just sort of flickering and reflecting off the stonework down here. There is, of course, a fetid smell in the air. With that being said, the place is probably a lot cleaner than you would have imagined. And the stonework is impressive, even. Now, as y'all get down here, is there anything in particular you want to do before forging on?
I might do a quick look for any immediate traps or danger or signs of life.
Fair enough, then. So do you want to try to perceive? You going to investigate around? What are you trying to do?
I'll give it a little perception.
All right, go for it.
That is a 17 from me.
All right. As you're just sort of looking around, you don't see anything that seems extremely dangerous. You know, I mean, there's certainly ways down here that you could injure yourself, but nothing seems planned to injure you. That being said, as you're looking around, you hear something, a whirring almost, muted off into the distance. You can tell it's underground. You can't really make out what it is, but there's a distinctive noise. In fact, say you probably put your hand against some of the masonry and maybe feel a bit of a vibration in it.
Yeah, look, it seems completely safe to me, so Evie, lead the way.
Alistair whips his psychic blades down the hallway with no hesitation.
It just throws them down the hallway?
Just throws them into the darkness.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, you yeet them down the hallway into the darkness. Now, with that, you don't hear the sound of anything that shrieks in pain or anything like that at all whatsoever. They just disappear off into the darkness. Now,
did you get him, champ?
Well, I don't know what's out there, but just in case, I didn't hear anything, so let's keep going, but be very careful.
All right. Now, with that, y'all had said, Evie, lead the way. And she'll look at everyone. I'm going to do my best guessing which way we should go, but I've never exactly been down here. I'll try not to get us lost.
So good. I've got a bit of survival training. Hopefully that will help. Having had to go root out, ne'er-do-wells and scum suckers from the sewers of my own town. Kind of have maybe a concept of what sewer patterning might be like.
Okay. All right, then. Fair enough. Yes.
How big is the sewer space that we in? Is it like a very large tunnel? I'm a big fella. I'm like 6'4", like
cavernous,
pushing
would not
280 chuggy buddy.
Yeah, cavernous would not be a good word, but it is large and expansive. I mean, This is not like narrow walkways. I mean, you probably, the passage that you're going through right now, you could probably fit a couple of you abreast, Okay. Yeah. So you've got a little bit of room to move around in here. Now, obviously, Lernus is going to be kind of going up front, I guess trying to help Evie, find the way. He has some experience as a watchmen in Waterdeep, probably down within the sewers occasionally. Now, with that said, unlike earlier, let's go ahead and establish what our marching order is. So we've got Evie and Larynus up front. Who would be falling in right behind them?
I'll go right up the back.
All right, so Creed's going to be in the back. Okay.
Yeah, I can follow them. I'm still not convinced we're making it out alive, so I want to watch the CV character.
Fair enough then.
Yeah, I might sit around the middle so I can just throw a knife wherever is needed.
Okay, all right. So I got you in the middle. What about Baki?
Baki will be, I think, right in front of Creed, like towards the back, trying to just listen to make sure no one else sneaks up on us.
Okay.
I was kind of picturing Baki sitting on Larynus' shoulders, to be honest.
Oh.
All right, and then that's going to give us Neilbog. Where's Neilbog?
Neilbog, I guess, can be somewhere in the middle somewhere, but he doesn't seem to be paying much attention. He's kind of like distracted and walking slowly and kicking the ground and just like a child would, kind of walking along behind its parents in a shopping center.
Okay. All right, then. Now, you all travel on. You're no longer in the city. Are you trying to move a bit quicker, or are you still passing with stealth?
RJ, you asked a pertinent question. We had discussed just before we started back up again from the bio break that we wanted to do a short rest to recover our kind of health and morale from that previous combat. So I think before we traipse off further into the sewer, the short rest period would probably be best done right here. If everyone.
Okay, so kind of like right as you enter within the sewers, you want to take a short rest?
I think that's kind of what we were considering as an option. If that's good.
Okay. Yeah. Is that what everybody wants to do?
Yeah. Look, my aching bones could use a little power nap.
Yeah. So just
off then.
Patch up some rent body parts and.
Yeah, so you're just down there in this area, and you decide that, given that there's no immediate threat, this might be a good place to rest. And you attempt to do so. Now, you all kind of sit around, take very little action, take a breather. And while you're there, nothing threatens you. You'll pass the time. Over the course of this hour or so, is there anything that you think might happen? Now, we don't have to role play everything out, obviously, but y'all just give us an idea of what occurs over this short rest, you think?
I think Creed straight away just goes, all right, guys, I'll see you in 10.
Alistair just very stealthily slips off his pinky ring and hides it upon realizing that Larynus is from Waterdeep, because he may have stolen this on his last visit.
Bravo.
And so he's just going to slip that in his pocket, because he doesn't look like he did last time he was in Waterdeep. But it's still not probably the best idea to get caught with a Lord's Alliance ring.
Fair enough. Now, what about everybody else? Anybody doing anything significant, or just passing them?
Okay. Old man napping, surgeon.
Oh, no.
Give me just a second to make a percentile roll over here. As Creed is napping, our sorcerer.
Less like sleepwalking and more like sleep warping.
Oh, no.
I was having a very vivid dream, and then it sprung me awake, and I was like, nah.
All right. Now, as Creed is napping, he falls asleep almost immediately. And I'm going to let you narrate this, and sort of tell us what happens, but somehow you cast grease centered upon yourself. So what happens is you drift off to sleep, and this wild magic surge occurs.
I fall asleep immediately, and in my dreams, I am dreaming that I am on just the most beautiful dance floor. And I'm young again. I'm full of youth. Everyone around me is like, oh, Creed, you're such a good dancer. And there's so many elven women and men that are just admiring me, and I'm like right in the middle, breaking it down to some bardic music. And then I start spinning on the floor. And like I'm doing a backspin that I've just gone faster and faster and faster and faster. And then I like in my dream, I've just greased the floor so that everything can spin so well. And everyone's like, how does he do it? And then I awaken and I'm just like, no, I'm in a puddle. How did this happen? It wasn't me, I swear. And there's grease everywhere. I'm like, oh, as I'm trying to like stand up and I'm slipping over. I'm like, oh, blasted open-toed sandals.
I mean, this sewer doesn't happen to be on an incline, right?
Well, you bring us to a good point, and this is what I was about to say. It's not so much that it's on an incline, but I mean, there was a good bit of moving around, and the area is all greased up. Now, I'm going to give you advantage on this because, as I've previously mentioned, the walkway is pretty significant. But why don't you give me a dex check to avoid, slipping off into some place unsavory?
Natural one. Perfect.
No.
Yeah, fail. Crit fail.
Well, there you go then, as Creed slides on the stone and plummets into the muck.
Everyone's off doing their own things. The old man's just yeeting himself in his sleep into the mire.
Yep.
Alistair's just going to look around at everybody and...
What? Just... Why? What?
I have severe concerns about our elderly friend's mental health. We definitely need to get him out of this place as soon as possible. It is clearly not well for him to be here.
He follows that up with, I certainly agree. It's time we move on before something else like that happens again.
Yeah,
does he still have the rope tied around his waist?
Oh, I don't know. Good question.
I probably would have taken it off by now.
That's bad news for you, buddy.
Yeah.
We can walk over and throw him some more rope.
Yeah, you can easily toss down some rope so he can climb back up.
Yeah, I climb back up and I look at myself and I'm like, oh, shit.
Well, yes.
Indeed.
Anyone got a towel?
You really should have learned that prestidigitation, shouldn't you?
I learned mage hand so I could not sit up and just pick things up whilst I was lying in bed.
Again, life choices.
But Alistair has oil and fire.
Oh.
Life choices.
You can clean yourself up severely.
Bucky just slowly takes out one of his like extra vestments, comes to a long decision, just kind of hands it to Creed, and is like, "It's not good to be wet." It's just like, take them.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody turn around right now.
Yeah, I don't even hesitate. I take my robes off, and you can see
Oh,
I've
God,
got,
no.
old man knees, and I've got like I look sickly, and then I put on your new vestments. I'm like, yeah, thank you.
I warned you.
Snug.
All for the morning, Lord. Yeah.
All right. Now, with him changing, I'm sure you all will continue on after that, correct?
Yes, let's make a move.
Enough.
Yes. You continue on. As you do so, you make your way further into these sewers, and we've got Lernus trying to help our little gnomish friend here. So you want to give me a survival roll as you're trying to lead?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will do this thing. I will find the button and click it. And I rolled a 14. I'm assuming bless or guidance and all that nonsense is far gone. So yeah, 14.
Yeah, 14 is good enough. You will make your way heading where you think you should be heading. And the further you travel in here, the louder the cacophony grows. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there was a bit of a whirring off in the distance. But as you travel further, I mean, it literally becomes this cacophony of buzzing and grinding and clanging. And if you try to speak to one another, I mean, you can hear yourselves, but you have to literally almost shout to be heard in this area. And as you do so, you'll find that you travel on further, winding your way through these sewers. And there's this lantern light that's just sort of making shadows dance kind of all about you. And as Lernus is going forward, passive perception is 12? Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
He doesn't take note of anything until it's about 10 or so feet away from him, within the lantern light. And what he begins to hear is this sort of skittering clack of metal on stone. And he sees a swarm of something making its way toward him. It appears almost, at first, kind of like insects or something like that. But they're made of metal. The light is just sort of gleaming. And this is going to be another round of initiative that y'all want to give me.
You said they're like metallic bugs, you said?
Yeah.
Well, something like that.
So, okay.
So as this stuff starts approaching, because we can't hear each other, Alistair is just going to pick up his platinum piece that he's been fiddling with and concentrate on that. And the same sort of pink glow that makes up his psychic daggers peeks out from his fingers.
And suddenly you can all hear him in your mind.
Oh.
As I use psionic whispers, and I rolled a 5, which means I can talk to everyone.
Excellent.
All right. Now, y'all give me your initiative numbers. So what is Baki sitting at?
22.
22. Okay. What about Neilbog?
Oh. Sorry, I didn't roll.
It's okay. Go ahead and give me Alistair's.
21.
Creed's?
16 for Creed.
You got Neilbog's?
14.
14. Okay. And then what about Kit?
19.
Followed by Larnus.
My favorite number of the night, 11.
Okay. That's going to have Baki leading us off. As these things, hundreds of these things are skittering about.
And they look metallic, like they look like little metal guys.
They do.
Okay. Is the corridor wide enough for me to like maneuver around my compatriots?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Oh man. I mean, if Evie's right in the front and all that, I guess I will try to move around everyone and just get in there and hit them with my rapier. Is the idea? I'm just kind of stab in front of them as if I could sweep them away. Yeah.
All right. So you rush up about 25 feet to the swarm, and you go to stab. It's an attack roll.
All right. Attack roll is 20, not natural.
Definitely going to hit.
Okay. For a whopping 4 damage.
Okay.
And just trying to like see what happens with these things. Like kind of just
Yeah. What kind of weapon were you using?
It's a rapier, so technically that is pointy damage, I believe.
Okay. All right. So now you do, kind of pierce down into this swarm, and it kind of glances off one of them, strikes the stone a bit. I mean, you hit but it was kind of a glancing blow, as you do that. And how much damage did you say it was?
4.
4. Okay.
I'm just like, they're metal, they're not real bugs. Help.
Fair enough. Anything else for Baki?
I can use my movement to get back out of there, right? Like I can move and attack and move.
Oh, well, you moved 25 feet, so you got 5 feet of movement.
Can I use my special feline movement to double that?
I suppose you could. That is an ability you have.
Yes. So I'm going to do that to double my speed and just move right out of there and try to like back up and put myself between me and Evie, trying to be like, move back behind us, not near the bugs. I just kind of like shuffle backwards, get a little bit of space.
Fair enough. You got anything that could mitigate an opportunity attack?
I super don't know.
Okay. All right then. So yeah, as you try to tear away from this area, there's a 10 on the die. Right. Where's that? Oh, sorry, I lost my place. So that was a 10 on the die. That's going to be a 13, and you have a 15. All right. So yeah, these things kind of like begin sort of skittering up your leg, but you're able to just sort of shake it off and rush back behind Evie. Now, Takes us to Alistair next.
Okay, so Alistair is just going to like crouch backwards, like one leg behind him, kneeling up. And he's like,
I'm staying here.
And just reaches up, pounds his bracer, and a slingshot folds up into his hand. And he's just going to start shooting these things.
Go for it.
So I'm going to use my sling. That's an 11.
11. It's not going to hit. I mean, you do your sling, strikes the stone kind of in between some of these.
I'm going to be cheeky and use one of my psionic energy die. And just his eyes just flare pink for a split second. And I'm going to add 5 to that roll.
You strike. Give me some damage.
I can only do that a couple of times, so let's do as much as we can. And is Baki within 5 feet of any of these things?
Baki moved back, so he definitely got out of the way.
Yeah,
Nothing
I mean,
is
like
5 feet. These things are about 10 feet away from.
Damn. Okay. In that case, it's 4 damage. Dang it, Baki! You couldn't have stayed a little closer.
No, that was psychic damage.
I would have got. No, just bludgeoning damage, but I would have got sneak attack damage on it if it was a bit closer.
Yeah, gotcha. All right. Okay. All right. Well, that's going to take us on from Alistair to Kit.
I duck under Lernus, and then I grab my short swords and I come up and I do this kind of spinning move, like spinning myself so I can get 2 strikes with 2 weapon fighting. First one. 11, which I don't think hits.
Yeah, 11 will be a glancing blow that strikes into the stone. Sparks.
And then next one is 16.
16 does strike.
Okay. That's 9 damage.
Okay. Got it. Anything else Kit can do?
No.
All right. Then we move on from Kit to Creed.
How are these things looking? Are they looking like they're not bloodied or anything? They're looking strong?
I mean, they're mechanical, so you definitely don't see like signs of like blood, on the floor or anything like that. But some of these things have been destroyed.
Okay. I might go ahead and just cast a fairy fire on them.
Okay, fair enough.
So that'll be a dexterity 13 DC check from them.
All right, that's going to be a fail again. So you light up the area.
Excellent. Yeah, they're all lit up, and I think this time Creed is just kind of like, he kind of roughs his hand, and then it's almost as if a big cosmic hand reaches over and grabs everything, and then just like crumbles them around, and then they drop back down, and they're all shiny and very metallic-y and platinum glowy. And then
If this wasn't the heat of battle, I'd say that that's very pretty, friend.
It is very pretty. You could say it anyway. And then I hide behind Baki.
Right.
Go get him.
You do that. Now, takes us on from Creed to Neilbog.
How many of them are there? Is it sort of like a mass?
It is a mass. It's a swarm.
Okay.
So hundreds
Okay.
probably.
All right. I will once more just say out loud, Neilbug, protect us! And I'm going to grab my little clay icon again and hold my hand out and cast Sacred Flame.
All right. Now with your Sacred Flame, that's going to be a dex check, right?
Yeah.
So what's your DC on that?
12.
Okay, 12. All right, give me some damage.
Hey.
I was not expecting that. D8. Yeah. 7. 7 radiant.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Now it doesn't destroy the swarm, but you want to describe what happens with your Sacred Flame?
It's similar to before with that guiding bolt, but this time it kind of little globules of like flame appear around it, and they just shoot inwards and attack from all sides.
All right, excellent. Then we go on from Nilbog to Lernus.
Yeah. The individual components of the swarm, are they like the size of like a cicada, or are they smaller or larger?
I mean, they're tiny. I'd say, probably bigger than a cicada, more like a tarantula size or something like that.
I don't think that his halberd or his javelins or whatever would be very useful against these things. I don't want to sack the lantern to kind of like torch them. I have my own lantern. I can use it, of course. Maybe, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I'll yeet the lantern I currently have into kind of like the heart of the mass of them in an attempt to torch them and hopefully kind of light up the area a little bit.
Okay, all right. So you got basically an improvised weapon going on here. Why don't you give me a D20 roll plus your dexterity modifier, but not proficiency for being an improvised weapon?
Sure, you can do that.
Don't forget
there is a dexterity
advantage.
modifier, so it's just...
It is advantage, yeah, because of the very far.
Yeah, so that's good. A 16.
Okay, yeah. So you toss, this lantern within the swarm. Now it is going to explode, fire and oil kind of like coating the area.
Fire.
Now, why don't you, let's see. I think there's something similar that you can purchase that does about a D6 worth of fire damage. So why don't you just give me a D6?
Sure. Boom, let's roll for 3. Nice and average.
Say that again.
3.
3. Okay. All right. Now, fire just sort of like coats a large swath of these things. And there's some remaining, but you can definitely tell that over half of them have been destroyed. So we go on from Lernos having launched this fire bomb, improvised fire bomb, to these creatures.
Yeah, and he just takes a defensive kind of posture. Like he has nothing really else to do. So he holds his stick, like, what the fuck now? Pardon my language, sorry.
Fair enough. Now, I was going to say these things advance, but actually Kit had gone right up to them to attack, I believe. So they're going to strike for Kit, the remaining ones. So 10 on the die. It's a 13. Kit has an AC of 15. All right. So kind of the same thing. These things kind of begin climbing up Kit, but none of them manage to penetrate armor or clothing or what have you. Now, with that, we're back to Baki.
Okay. Baki's gonna put the rapier away, take out his quarterstaff, and just run back into the fray. Is going to be the plan, and I think I'm gonna burn my last spell slot to use divine. Wait, okay, you can do that only when I hit. Sorry. I'm just going to attack it with my quarterstaff. Is the idea, trying to overhand, just kind of wall up the swarm and crush some of them next to Kit.
And do so with advantage.
Thank you. First roll was only a 13. We're going to roll again. Next roll is a 19.
It's going to hit. Give me some damage.
Now, I am going to burn my last spell slot for real to use Divine Smite, which gives me an extra 2d8 radiant damage. So my quarterstaff damage is just a 1d6, is 5 plus 8 plus 7. 5 plus 8 plus 7. Math. I can do this. 20 on the dot?
Yes, 20, exactly.
Yeah. All right. 20 on the dot. So there's this blinding light that comes out of the quarterstaff as I just overhand and try to squash him.
Okay. All right. You exceed the amount needed to destroy the rest of these. So
nice.
Of course, what happens?
Nice.
Yeah, as Baki, as I hit the ground, the blinding light kind of shatters. The earth shakes underneath them, and they just kind of come out in a big, they're blown apart from the force of the blow. Some of them scatter against the wall, and just the little pieces kind of form little piles. And Baki's left there just panting, kind of didn't really know it was going to work that well. Just like, I kind of freaked myself out with that one. And just looks at Kit next to him like.
I pat him on the back. Well played, old man.
Thanks. Just kind of startled from where you touched me.
Good work, furry friend.
I try. I do. Can we go?
Yes, I think we should keep moving, but let's keep an eye on it.
I will, while the last kind of bit of oil is still smoldering from the previous lantern, I apologize to Alistair for breaking his toy, and I will do my best to get him a new one to replace it, and I will bust out my own bullseye lantern and light it while I still can see what is going on. So we can go forward. This is now a bullseye lantern, though not a regular lantern. So it's kind of like just more focused light.
That's okay, my friend. I don't really need them. I just carry them in case I need to set something on fire, really.
Well, then.
But speaking of fire, well, magic and setting things in pain, before we go on, can anybody here cast like a lightning spell of any sort?
I can shockingly grasp things.
I mean, but you have to be touching the thing, right?
I would, yes.
Yeah, okay, that doesn't work so much, but that's okay. I just thought, in case we can encounter another swarm of these things, I'd better check.
I think anytime Creed grasps anyone else, they are a bit shocked by the outcome.
Yeah, very bony, cold hands.
And barely grasped.
They've got bad circulation.
He's got that chill touch.
Can we tell if the sound is diminished or not?
The sound is definitely not diminished. It doesn't seem to have been coming from these things, though it did
Probably
cause the noise that they made. Now, real quick, Preston, what is Neilbog's passive perception? I hadn't gotten that yet.
16.
16.
Jesus.
That is the highest of the group and kind of makes sense for a cleric. Now, as you all are around having destroyed, this swarm of mechanical things, there's a bit of fire that is still kind of burning within the oil and stuff like that. And Neilbog can see that there are some kind of shiny things within this sort of swath of destruction of all this metal. Now, it was, made from metal, but he sees distinctively not just metal, but perhaps some gem-like things within there as well, from where some of these things had been crushed, and perhaps some platinum disc or something like that.
Is it in the fire or?
No, the fire is just illuminating the area and
okay.
Gleaming off of gleaming off of these shiny things, reflective things.
Neilbog can see things. What's that?
All right.
What did you see, little friend?
Something shiny.
Okay, you had me at shiny.
Alistair is definitely going to want to take a look.
Yeah. As you take a look, you can see kind of in this destruction, these broken things, there are about 10 platinum discs in here. You've seen this metal before, mostly in the form of coins. And this is close to the size of a coin, but distinctively not a coin. It seems to have been used for some sort of mechanical purpose. And in addition to that, there are also these 8 blue stones, transparent, pale blue.
None of that looks safe.
I'm not greedy, things. I'll take 1 coin and 1 stone, and you can share the rest.
These are of no particular interest to learners, so you guys can deal with them as you wish.
I've surpassed material things except alcohol.
No more alcohol for you.
How dare you?
Sifting the wreckage of the metallic carcasses and things like that, doing investigation, can I get a sense of whether I think these were parts that came from these things, and if somehow they were related to their function or whatever it is they were doing?
Yeah, most certainly. I mean, you don't know what the function would have been, but you think that they were kind of like parts of some of these things, for sure.
Actually, you know what? I have an idea. I'm going to try and collect up as much of them as I can and stick them to my body in various ways. I will become one.
You try real hard at that. They don't really stick to your body. That being said, you've collected a handful of these, platinum disc and, pale blue stones.
Something unusual has happened.
What? Wild magic? Okay. Is that directed towards anyone in particular or just as general?
Definitely George.
It was directed at Alistair.
Alistair is a good boy.
Okay. All right. Now, whoever this was directed towards, I'm assuming Alistair, because that's what was just said. Alistair's
George.
size increases.
Oh.
So he becomes a large-sized version of Alistair.
Yes. This is
Imbigonate.
Now, this lasts for about a minute.
Alistair just starts running down the hallway. Boom, 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 boom.
All right. Fair enough then. He plunges down the hallway, into the darkness. Not a problem for him, as he can see. Now, as he runs down this hallway, why don't you give me a dexterity check?
Okay, dokie.
I was trying to do sticky things, but instead I did biggie things.
This is not the, I think, ideal time to engorge yourself,
17.
Alistair.
17. Okay. Now, as he's plunging down this hallway, he's been used to, making his way through here at Alistair size or whatever. And he comes very close to braining himself on this sort of low-hanging sort of architectural feature, but manages at the last moment to just kind of like duck under it,
Watch your head, friends.
Yeah. Now, y'all continue on, and you're not in combat right now or anything like that. Nothing else is threatening you, and a minute will pass, and eventually Alistair running will eventually shrink back down to size, No.
No mischief for me.
Yeah. Now, as Lernus kind of leads you on the rest of the way, catching up with Alistair, y'all will make your way out of the sewer. And as you do so, you kind of arrive on the other side of the wall of the foundry, and you can see it glowing on the skyline. As you're there, outside of this sewer, not only that, but this sort of like blood-like smell that you had experienced earlier, stepping into the city. I mean, it's a metallic tang that almost burns on your tongue. You can see these docks are just sort of coated, slick with ice. And there's one lone boat that's docked here. And painted on the side of it are the words "The Lone Traveler." This bitter chill kind of bites at you. You can feel it in your bones. What's going on with your group right here as you see this? Near you.
Oh, my elbows. The cold, it always makes them stiff.
This chill seems unnatural. Artis, could you give me a lift?
I suppose, yeah, Lawrence would definitely be on the wary side and maybe try to percept the surrounding environment for dangers. But a lift, yes, I could probably lift Alistair with no significant challenge.
Yeah,
like, you
Alistair wants to try like a boost maneuver so he can get some air again and check out the boat from the air.
Okay, all right.
Sir, I can yeet my friend.
As you're being yeeted, I'm assuming you're going to do the thing where you kind of like glide again or something like that. What's going on? Okay. As you're sort of gliding, you see that there's like a bit of snow that's sort of descending in the area, which is not surprising. It snows here. Things are covered in ice, stuff like that. But as you're gliding, you kind of see it fall kind of like on your hand in front of you. And you realize that it's not snow, but it's ash. And it seems to be falling kind of all around this area. And from your vantage point right now, I mean, you can get a good view of the boat. The boat appears to be empty. No crew on it at all whatsoever. You don't see a sign of, anything waiting to ambush you or anything like that. Now, your passive perception is, if I have this correct, a 13. Is that right?
It is indeed.
Right. Now, as you're kind of glancing that way towards the boat, you see nothing. You turn back the other way, kind of looking towards the group, and you see a figure in the darkness, kind of descending amongst this ash, flying like you. It's a suit of blackened plate, appears to be inscribed with cruel runes. There's what seems to be like glowing from within the seams of this thing as it descends amongst the falling ash. Kind of coming in behind, pretty close to where Nailbog is.
Okay, I'm just checking if... Yep, looks like it's still working. How long would you say that it has been?
Since when?
Since we had that fight.
Oh, well, so we kind of expedited things a little bit. I would guess that probably it's been a matter of maybe 10 minutes or something like that.
Okay, definitely. Okay, then Alistair is just going to be like shout in everybody's mind.
There's something in the ash, there's something in the ash, there's something in the ash. It's black and it's flying and it's not me. There's something in the ash.
Well, look, maybe it's friendly.
It does not look friendly. It looks very scary, and I'm going to land now. Bye-bye.
As an older person, I've learned, don't judge a book by its cover.
Zoom as quickly as possible back to the group.
Yeah. Evie, is that the boat guy? Is that your guy? I hope that's not your guy.
As y'all are saying that, Evie kind of turns around, looks back the direction that Alistair was pointing, and you see a bit of fear kind of come across her face as words ring out across the open air, coming somewhere from within this blackened suit of armor. No one has given you permission to leave. You go if I say you can go. No, I have not given you leave of that.
I said I could go. Who the hell do you think you are?
Can I request permission?
Request enough.
It's worth a try.
And with that, she's hovering about 10 feet off the ground, about 10 feet away from Neilbog. She carries a blackened shield and sword that's down at her side. This boat is not yours to take. You are here because I want you here.
Who said anything about taking a boat?
And you are? I mean, besides very imposing in that big suit of armor, who the hell are you?
I'm Valos. Malvalos.
And I thought my name was on the news.
I missed what you said, Sean.
And I thought my name was on the news.
I Or not I. This is my city.
We don't want it. You can keep it. We've got to go somewhere else.
Not how it works here. Now, you abandon her. You go back to whatever pathetic lives you were leading. Leave her to me.
Excuse me, pathetic? I am one of the 5 heroes of Green Nest? No, that's very rude of you. And we're not leaving her for the She's hired up to do something. And, well, if I'm hired, I do my job. Jesus.
My life was pretty pathetic.
Yeah, I kind of, yeah, but you know, the light was better where we were before.
The whole city is rather pathetic. You're right. It is.
Yeah, your city sucks.
Just trembling. We should get on the boat. I've got the rapier out, but it's shaking.
Yeah, Alistair is like blasting everybody back away slowly and bring Evie with us in everybody's minds while he's shouting all of this.
Okay. So what is everyone doing? Does anyone do anything in response to that?
Backing slowly towards the boat, trying to get us between Evie so she's not in like the line of fire.
Now, as you begin backing away, once more, let's have a round of initiative.
Yo.
Okay, let it begin.
Oh,
not inclined to let you leave.
That is a natural 1.
Ah.
RJ, sorry, I was just going to say, right before you said initiative, am I able to invoke duplicity?
You mean like as you're backing away or whatever?
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to like appear in front of me as if like I'm leaving it behind. Like
Sure.
in front of my...
We can say that you did that. Now, anyone have higher than 15?
Yeah.
Blackjack.
Yes, 15.1.
All right. Just let me get initiative from everybody. What's Baki have?
21. I've been fire on initiative, and I finally got blackjack. So.
All right.
Nice.
Fair enough. What's Neil Bach have?
20.
All right. What's Alistair have?
A 1. Well, a 3 with plus 2.
All right.
But it was in that one.
Gotcha. What's Creed have?
An 18.
All right. Kit.
15.
And then finally, Awareness.
Kit is going 15, but better 15 than my 15.
Okay. Got it. Well, that's going to have us at the top of the round with Baki. You all were backing away, but you can see that this dread lady doesn't intend to let you do that.
Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb. We did short rest, so I can channel divinity one more time, and I'm just going to try to turn the unholy if she's within 30 feet of me. It only works on fiends and undead. They got to make a wisdom saving throw of 12. Is the idea. If she's a fiend or undead.
All right. I have a 17 on the die.
Okay. So Baki's, holds out his kind of holy symbol that he has around his neck, sees this not work, and just goes, never mind. And man, yeah, that's what I had. And I think it's just, going to continue. I don't want to get Evie in, meaning to stay between this lady and Evie. So I guess I'm just going to take the rapier out and hold my ground, despite shaking like a leaf on a tree.
Okay, fair enough. So you're holding your ground currently about 20, 25 feet away.
Yeah.
All right, and it's going to take us on from Baki to Nilbog. Nilbog is only about 10 feet away.
I'm going to use my... I think I have to use... Can I... I can move my duplicate using a bonus action. Is that right?
That sounds right.
Can I don't know how this works. Can I use my action instead to either? Actually, no. Yeah, I'll use my action to disengage. Actually, and I'll use my bonus action to make my duplicate move. So I'm going to run into opposite directions.
Okay. All right then. Just kind of like moving your full distance both directions.
I'm like running away from it in two separate directions.
All right, fair enough. You do that. Okay.
You can.
Does that settle everything for Nilbog?
Sorry?
Is that it for Nilbog?
Yeah, I don't have any other actions I can take.
Okay, that's going to take us on to Creed then.
Creed is going to cast Fairy Fire on it. Actually, first things first, I'm going to cast Mind Sliver. Ooh. So I will need it to make an int save, DC 13.
I don't get that till level 5.
Rough. Okay, it fails its int save.
Hey, it takes 2 psychic damage. And it also has 1d4 to be subtracted from the next saving throw, which I'm going to use Quicken Spell with my sorcery points and cast Fairy Fire.
Nice.
Okay.
So that is now a DC 13 dexterity save minus a d4.
Oh, that's cocked. Oh, it fails Fairy Fire.
Hey, so I'm kind of looking at it, and you see its armor change color into a powder blue, and I'm like, oh, well, that's not very threatening anymore. That's very embarrassing.
All right. Is that it for Creed?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Takes us on to Kit.
Kit, as a bonus action, uses Bardic Inspiration, and he yells, "Come on, lads! We were invisible once!" And then, as my one action, I'm going to cast Blade Ward on myself.
All right, so you cast Blade Ward on yourself, and that's going to be it for Kit.
Yes.
All right, then it takes us to Lernus.
Yay! We're gonna do that thing again, where Lernus is in danger, and therefore the Hydra is trying to kill him. And so, would you say that the armored person is within striking range, or I can move to within striking range with my halberd of them?
It's 10 feet off the ground, and I believe you have a reach of 10 feet with your halberd, correct?
Okay. Yes.
So,
okay, cool.
10, 15, 20, 25. Yep, you've got just enough movement to get within striking distance.
Okay, yeah, those serpentine heads phantasmally erupt out from his body again. Purple energies kind of whippling from his eyes, and he rushes forward like some maddened fool to strike at this woman. The Hydra is kind of pressing him along, and he is reckless. And there's a roll. Boop. Oh, that's terrible. 13 does not hit, I'm assuming.
Definitely. I mean, this figure is plate mail and shield and sword.
Wild miss of a swing. I don't have. Oh wait, did Bardic Inspiration I hear was the word mentioned earlier?
It was.
Yeah. So
and I'm assuming you did. So did your attack with advantage as well?
I did.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh nope, I already. Yeah, nope, it's still a miss. Whatever her armor class is still going to be far exceeding anything I can add on within any kind of reason at this level. So, wild flailing swing, and because I did not hit her with the attack, she is not compelled by the spirit to do the spirit stuff.
Okay. All right then. Well, it's going to take us on from Lernus to the Dread Lady. Now Lernus is right there. She descends about 5 feet, hovering about 5 feet off the ground, and strikes with a long sword.
Yo.
Now, that's going to be a miss, as Lernus is able to parry the first strike.
Even though she has advantage?
Oh, I didn't roll advantage.
Yeah.
And that's still going to be
wide open.
Yeah, he was still able to kind of parry it out of the way. And then
the Hydras are mad. They hate this.
Yeah, she comes back with another attack with her sword. And that's a crit.
Yeah, there we are.
Right.
The Hydras kind of just brought that on me. Let's do it.
600 damage.
I should expect no less.
12 points of slashing damage.
All right. That did not feel good. The Hydras squeal in glee.
All right. Now, with that, Creed is my next person who's closest within range. And Creed will notice something kind of emanate from this armor, almost like this spectral kind of skeletal hand that extends forth and attempts to brush against him with an 18 on the die. And as it brushes against him, he'll take 2, 3, 5. He'll take 5 points of necrotic damage.
Ow! Ouch!
As he feels life force being rended from his body. Now, if someone were to try to heal you, that's kind of impossible for a bit, as this is a chill touch.
Don't go for me. Go for Evie. She's the one who made us do this.
Now, we go on from this lady to Alistair at the bottom of the round.
Hey.
I don't like the look of this. I don't like the look of you. I don't want to stay here. I don't like your stupid city. It's time to go. Let's do this.
And he just manifests, like, rears up with his hands, manifests both blades, and just chucks them at her face.
All right. Go for it.
Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, that is an 11 for the first one.
Definitely miss.
Oh, Jesus. D&D Beyond is doing me dirty. And that's an 8 for that one. I should have just stuck with my physical dice.
Yeah. So yeah, with the first one, she just kind of like throws her shield up. And then next one, she just sort of like slices through your blade with her sword.
So
wow.
With my interact with an object, can I just like pour my water skin all over the string I'm carrying?
Oh, hold on. I think I missed something. I just catch that 2 times wild magic for George, and then wild magic for Neilbog as well. So sorry to interrupt you there, but let's throw this wild magic in there and see what happens.
Let's do it.
Is that a total of 4 wild magic effects going off, or is it?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Split the Party TV says both for George, one now, one immediately after the first happens in his next turn, or when the first resolves if out of combat. And then there's the other ones.
All right. So the first one. Now with this
Apparently someone's trying to give one to me too.
So George.
Yeah.
You turn into a potted plant until your next turn. While you're a plant, you're incapacitated and have vulnerability to all damage.
Yeah, I take that skeletal hand. I'm like, ow!
It's like camouflage. No one will notice the potted plant, like on the dome.
Now, so that was the one for George, and then we've got one towards Neilbog as well. That should be going off now, right? So Neilbog. Okay, this was a 1, and that says roll on this table at the start of each of your turns for the next minute. ignoring this. So
Okay.
you're going to have to remind me of that. But at the start of each of Neilbog's turns, we'll be rolling mild magic.
Month of wild magic Nilbog. He's just erupting with chaos. Is appropriate for a goblin.
Chaos manifest. Now, what was the second one for George? What was the stipulation on that?
Oh, just like at the end of his first turn or something, it says in the chat.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right then. So you were saying something, Sean.
There's one for Baki here as well, it says.
Oh, for Baki as well? Okay.
Yeah, it just says directed at Baki and Nilbog.
Yeah, I think I really freaked out when I got hit by that attack.
I just rolled a 1 and then I rolled a 100. Okay. So that would be you regain all of your sorcery points.
Oh.
You're not a sorcerer, though.
I could regain all my spell slots.
Good. Or I could roll again to give you something that's
fair. That's fair.
applicable.
And one for me, apparently.
All right. A spectral shield hovers near you for the next minute. Granting you a +2 bonus to AC and immunity to all magic missile.
Nice.
All right.
So,
yep.
All right.
Bucky sees what happens to Creed and goes, "She turned Creed into a plant!" And then the magic shield says, "She gave me a Nilbog. Was this you?" I'll take it.
All right. Now, is there one for Alistair now?
And now is a new one, for Allie.
Okay. All right then. Okay, Alistair, you cast polymorph on yourself.
Oh!
What do I become?
Fail the saving throw. Oh, if you fail the saving throw, you turn into a sheep for the spell's duration.
What's the saving throw?
DC 30 wisdom?
Wow.
All right. So did I take it you failed your saving throw?
Yeah, I did not roll very well.
All right. So we've got a potted plant, we've got a sheep, and we've got a dreadlord hovering in front of your party. Now, I think, Sean, you were still trying to do something?
I was, but now that I don't have hands, I can't really. But I wish I had one more action, because I would love to headbutt.
Yeah, bite her shins.
All right. Well, I guess we go on from Alistair back to the top of the round with Baki. Baki, you've got this shield near you.
Yeah, and two of my compatriots are just not now. How are people doing on health? Lernus, you got hurt pretty bad. Are you okay?
It didn't feel good, but he's a bit engaged, so it's not really hard to tell based off his morale how he's feeling about it.
Fair. All right. So, Baki with this shield just assumes, says, "The Morning Lord is with me," and runs forward, finally feeling a little braver, and tries to just stab with the rapiers to straight attack at this Dreadlord.
With advantage, too.
With advantage.
Powdered blue armor.
That's correct.
Right. Thank you. I super needed that. That's an 18.
Okay. Well, I mean, she is in plate mail, and you stab at advantage toward this powdered blue armor. Nevertheless, you strike kind of like, in the chest plate, and it glances off, being plate mail.
Yeah. Bucky's just left there like, this is going to stay there.
All right. Now, takes us from Baki to Neilbog.
Neilbog chaos.
What am I rolling?
That's right. You can give me a percentile roll.
Neilbog, turn into a dragon or something good.
Yeah, all right. Where is my other one? Oh, I'm missing. There it is. 39.
39. Okay. So with the 39, you regain 2d10 hit points.
Hey.
Nice.
I'll just how far away are we from this boat? Is it how big is this boat? Is it like a boat? Like we talking like a big ship or?
Oh, it's a big ship.
Okay. How far away is it from us?
I'd say probably you're within 40 to 50 feet away from it.
Does it look like it? Does it have a ramp?
Yes.
I'm having a bad time.
Bad. Does it look? Just quickly glancing at it, does it look like it has any cannons on it?
You do see kind of like those sort of, I don't know what they're called, but like the cannon windows or whatever that could be opened, but no cannons are like out displayed.
Okay, I'm going to run toward the boat as myself and get as far as I can toward it. And is this, did you say Dreadlord? Is it still flying?
Yeah, it's about 5 feet off the ground, kind of engaged with the barbarian and the paladin right now.
Okay. Right. So I probably should have mentioned this, but I'm 2 levels of cleric, 1 level of rogue. So I do also get sneak attack as well. Does that mean if I shot it now with my crossbow, I would get sneak attack?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. Where is my crossbow? There it is. It's a natural 1. Damn.
All right.
I'll use my bonus action then to move my duplicate back toward it.
Okay. All right. Well, you do that. And then give me a percentile roll. Let me know what you got.
Another 1.
Mm-hmm. Not wild magic.
44.
44. Okay. Give me some damage.
Do some damage?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, crossbow.
Yeah, crossbow damage.
Oh. Okay. Oh, wow. That was good. So I rolled an 8 plus 3, so that's 11 piercing damage. Do you want me to still roll sneak attack?
Oh, no. Lernus is bit in the back for 11 points of damage. This was a natural 1, right? A crit failure?
Was.
Rough.
I rolled max damage.
Lernus is bit by that pretty hard from behind.
That didn't do it. The Hydra's squealing more glee. Yes, everyone attack him. Ah.
Now, we go on. Or was there anything left for Neilbog? In that case, we go on to Creed. Creed, who's a potted plant for the next minute, thanks to... Was there any kind of save on that? Or is that just straight up a potted plant for the next minute?
Someone put me on the ship.
Will water you daily.
Am I near him?
Right. So, oh yeah, and then I think at the start of your turn, you get another wild magic surge is what was said, right?
Yes.
True, yeah.
That was mentioned.
Do they cancel out?
Let's find out.
Somebody pour some absinthe on that plant.
Got my wild magic up. Up to 3 creatures you choose within 30 feet of you take 40-10 lightning damage.
Can I? My potted plant brain chooses the Dreadlord, obviously.
Here's the thing: the Dreadlord is technically 2 creatures.
I will choose those 2 creatures as one of them. And then third one, I'll choose Alistair.
All right.
How dare you!
In that case, go ahead and give me your 40-10 for the Dreadlord.
Oh.
And that's going to be twice. Once for each of these.
Rolling all of them at the same time. And that's not popping up for me. Wow, okay. That'll end up as 58 with the 8d10.
Wow.
Okay. All right. So 58. So I'll just split that between the two, I guess.
I just want to point out earlier, Alistair said, does anyone have a lightning attack? We're like, no one's got any lightning.
Turns out Creed had not seen his final form yet, where he doesn't name that.
Exactly.
All right. Now, as this lightning streaks across from the potted plant, this powdered blue armor, is enwrapped, with this lightning that sort of swirls and grounds about it. In addition to that, the helm is struck and falls off of the Dreadlord's or Dreadlady's form, revealing this encasement that has a brain just sort of like floating within it, atop the suit of armor. Now, I believe you were also going to deal some damage to Alistair, you said?
Yeah. And it was 17 lightning damage.
Okay. So Alistair the sheep takes 17 damage. Now, I believe that means...
Oh, no! Give Creed more alcohol!
And Alistair just collapses on the ground, unconscious.
All right.
At least it'll end your polymorph.
He had 14 health left.
All right. Well, yeah, you land unconscious on the ground, but yes, your polymorph goes away and you revert to Alistair. And it takes us on from Creed to Kit.
So is Alistair in death saves? Is that what we're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to run to him and cure wounds. And you have 10.
Oh, thank Lord for that. Thank you.
And then for a bonus action, if I can, I would like to dash and pick up the potted plant and head for the boat.
Okay. You do that then. And you rush, pick up the potted plant, head toward the boat. And then we go on from Kit to Lernus.
Yeah. Continues to focus on the... So is it discernible that the exposed brain in a jar aspect of this Dreadlord is a separate entity and thus for a separate target?
Seems like it could be a separate target, yes.
I feel like a glass case full of questionable fluid and brain matter is probably easier to hit than just plate armor. So let's try and just poke that with the halberd instead.
You go for it.
Same as before. 26.
That's going to hit. You can give me some damage.
Yeah. For 9 to 11 slashing and rage damage to the brain and the jar port.
Okay.
And the Hydra spirits really want that part of the boss to focus on me.
Okay. Fair enough. Now, with that, is there so is that like an automatically like compulsion to attack you? Is that what that is?
No, so it's technically the ancestral protector path of the barbarian thing. The first creature you hit with the attack on your turn becomes a target, which hinders the attacks. Until the start of your next turn, the target has disadvantage to attack anyone that isn't me. And if they hit anyone that isn't me, their target gains resistance to that damage.
Gotcha.
So they have disadvantage to hit anyone else and advantage to hit me.
All right.
And I
Now-
am at like really low health.
Here's what happens after that, though. As you kind of like strike into this encasement, and there's a bit of a crack. It doesn't shatter, but there is a crack that goes across it. And you hear, "No!" And this encasement separates from the body. And what I need is Lernus to give me a save.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
All right, you're going to give me a saving throw. Wisdom.
Mm-hmm. Wisdom. Okay, very good.
Actually,
Shouldn't be hard for a barbarian.
Totally known for those. Nope. I am highly susceptible to this effect.
Right.
okay. Now, as that happens, you are charmed. She screams, "No! Protect me!" And begins kind of like floating away from you all, taking no other action. The plate mail just drops to the ground and a clatter. And then we go on to Alistair.
All right. How am I going to do this? So that's a brain in a jar, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So once more, Alistair is going to whip both psychic blades straight at the head. But this time I'm going to expend the last of my my psionic boost abilities to make sure these damn things hit.
I thought you were a dead sheep.
I got healed.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, better.
Yeah, I got 10 health, so I'm back up, and this is my last ditch of chance to try to do something before I get knocked out again. All right. Oof. What is that? +4. Okay. That's a 10. That's not going to do it.
Yeah. The 10 definitely won't do it. Now, it's going to wind down.
The second one, however, is a 20.
20 hits.
Okay. That doesn't get as much damage, but that's 13 damage, including 6 psychic damage and 7 sneak attack damage.
Okay. You definitely strike into it. You hear a bit more cracking in the encasement, but it doesn't drop from the sky or anything like that. Now, you have this thing running. Many of you are injured. The boat is within sight. Do you want to remain engaged with this and see what might happen? Or do you want to disengage and try to make your escape?
What plant thinks escape?
To run away if we can, my friends. Like this is bad. Like I'm quite hurt, and my brain, the mind, it's getting tired. I can't do this for much longer.
Let's get out of here. Someone take the plant. It's Creed.
I must protect my dreadlord.
Oh no!
I already have the plant. I'm already running.
Right.
Creed can eat my butt after that lightning.
Oh.
So there is a consensus to disengage and run toward the boat, and I'm sure that that your gnomish friend has been running there, following along behind Neilbog. You all will make it up the gangplank onto the boat, and she'll go rush up across the deck above the captain's quarters, take the helm, and begin steering it away. Now, in these moments, do we have some scenes you want to leave us with?
My duplicate is still down there. Can I have it fling off one more guiding bolt?
Sure, go for it.
That's a 15.
15 is good enough to hit this thing.
Oh, that's good. That is a 16 radiant damage.
Nice.
Okay.
Impressive.
Yeah.
This encasement has less than that. So, what do you think happens? Guiding bolt. Do you
Does
want to
it
tell us?
fall?
Yeah,
Oh gosh, I wasn't prepared for this. I want the Nilbog duplicate to do the same thing as it did last time. Well, the real one did with his finger trace along its crossbow and fire one off. I want it to like go straight through it, and initially it looks like it missed, but then it'll just kind of like erupt in like a burst of flame and fall to the ground in pieces.
Okay. So there's this explosion of flame and ash as it falls to the ground in a clatter. Now, with that, Evie is piloting the boat away from the docks, and you're heading off on this oily black sea. Ice flows all about you, rocking the boat as she doesn't pilot it exactly too well. And you sail off towards these mists. Now, do we have a end scene anyone wants to leave us with? What do you think happens as you're pulling away from these docks?
Alistair's going to crouch next to the pot plant. And he's just going to whisper,
I don't know if you can hear me in there, Creed, but if you ever do that again, I'm going to salt your earth. My friend, that was horrible.
Odd plant doesn't hear it.
On the docks, as the party sails away, they can see Lernus's kind of befuddled brain and its Hydra heads wailing around as the brain gets exploded by Nilbog's amazing power, and then he just looks at the splattered gore and viscera there on the docks and looks at the armor and goes like they can see him like picking up the armor to maybe like don it himself.
I like that a lot.
So we left. Wow. Okay. All right. So
well, yeah, the last thing that happened to him was he was compelled by the brain. So
yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that as an end scene. Lernus dons the armor as you sail off into the mist.
Lernus the Dreadlord.
Now, thank you all so very much.
That was so much fun, guys. You guys are awesome. Amazing.
So, yeah, and it looks like we had some people tuning in. Thank you so very much for coming in and joining us for our adventure tonight. Certainly appreciate having you here, and definitely appreciate all those wild magic surges at the end.
Yeah, thank you so much for all your donations.
I'm really glad I prepared a sheep at the start of the game.
Yeah. Yeah,
I thought for sure I was going to be the pot plant though, so I had this ready.
Nice.
Nice. That would have been amazing.
Wow.
Well, I think there was a dice giveaway that was going on, and it looks like Trollsmedden won the giveaway. So congratulations!
Hey, congratulations! Well done.
So cool. And just real quick, Soren, how are we going to lead out of this? Thanks so very much to Jasper's Game Week for letting us play tonight, and thanks to all you players who had donated to be a part of this charity game. And definitely once more, thank you so very much to you viewers who donated to give us our wild magic surges and everything. It was certainly fun.
Thanks, RJ, for DMing us as well. It was amazing.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm glad y'all had a fun time. I had a fun time as well. Okay, all right, yeah, so let's do a quick round of shout-outs. Let's just start in the order that I see everyone. So, Peter, anything you want to plug or say before you leave tonight?
No, right now you can follow me at Peter Medeiros 19 on Twitter. I write stuff.
Okay, awesome then. Thank you. Preston.
Shameless plugs. I will just let you know, guys. I play in a campaign on Tuesday nights, Australian Eastern Standard Time. We usually try to aim to start at around 6:45. We're pretty far through our current campaign. We play in Eberron at the moment with our DM, Venice Elder, or Michaela, if you know him personally. you should come check us out if you want to see a bunch of friends just talk absolute nonsense.
Awesome.
I love your team. You've got such a great team going there.
Thanks.
Awesome.
And yeah, you can find me as Brainbeast Studios pretty much everywhere. This month on the 23rd, you can catch my show, which is once a month, which is the Shifting Spire, which George will be one of my victims later in the year. I think D&D meets Takeshi's Castle in a competitive game show, team versus team. Whoever gets the highest by the end of the season wins a $2,000 grand prize, sponsored in part by Beetle and Grimm's with one of their platinum boxes. So it's going to be really fun. I've got Roll for Damage playing this month, and they're going into the most Takeshi's Castle inspired episode yet.
Very awesome. Cool. And George?
Yeah, just come check out Split the Party on YouTube. We do a lot of Dungeons and Dragons videos, and we get up to the most ridiculous hijinks. So if you're looking for a D&D laugh, yeah, Split the Party on YouTube.
Awesome. Thank you. Ron?
Yeah, playing D&D with old friends and new friends is always great, and it's I think it's even more fantastic that we got to do it and raise money for a good cause and a good program. So I'm really grateful for being able to do that, and I was very happy to meet everyone, and I had a great time. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Ron. And Daniel?
Hey, yeah, I don't have any of these cool plugs like you guys, but I do know of this because of RJ. So plugging RJ here, because I wouldn't be here and enjoying this Jasper event with you all without him. So follow RJ on Twitter. He's super entertaining. He's really informative and friendly. I love it.
Seconded.
Oh, well, thank you very much, y'all. I appreciate that. And I am RJ Cresswell. You can find me on Twitter at RJ_Cresswell. That's CRESSWELL, where I do post things about Dungeons and Dragons mostly. Sometimes other stuff. I do a fair amount of giveaways on there. In addition to that, I am a professional dungeon master. And if you saw this game and you thought it'd be fun to play with me, you can find me on startplaying.games. In addition to that, I've got a couple of Dungeons and Dragons streams, one of which is my homebrew campaign setting. We're playing a story called the Grimwood Saga, and you think maybe something weird and quirky like Twin Peaks meets Dungeons and Dragons or something like that. And then in addition to that, I'm also playing through Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden with a fun group of players, and our campaign is called Dead in Winter, and you can just find that on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/RJ Cresswell. In my closing thoughts, thanks again so very much, players, for joining me tonight. Had a whole lot of fun. Thanks again, everybody who watched. Thanks again to Jasper's Game Day. If you enjoyed this, please check out any of the other events that they might be running and continue to donate, because it's for a good cause. And I think that's about all I've got. Just thank you all so very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.